They killed him? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Wait, they killed the guy that killed Charlie Kirk?
Oh, no. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about something else. No, they did arrest the guy, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you, bro.
Can you hear us?
Hey. Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Oh.
Yeah, we was able to hear you the whole time.
Damn. Good thing I wasn't like doing something like weird or something in the shower or anything like that, you know? Shit, no wonder why things were looking weird on my end. I was like, what the hell is all this? But yeah, today I wanted to talk about free speech and the idea of it and all that stuff. But how is everybody doing today? I know it's a lot going on this week. I mean, we had there's a lot that happened yesterday. Aside from the manhunt of Charlie Kirk, Minneapolis went to a lockdown. That should be scary. HBCUs were in lockdowns because of threats. You had another school that had threats. You had another school shooting, I believe, or something in the parking lot. So there was a lot of craziness happening this week, and I think we need to kind of have a more civil discussion and a bigger deep dive on it. But I don't know, Thomas, it was pretty spicy yesterday. Montel, I haven't seen you in a while. Where were you hanging out all the time?
And me and my wife didn't stop going into facilities. We don't go out. That's probably why you don't see it.
Yeah. I'm seeing in the hallway. I haven't had a chance to really dive deep into this, but you might have more information on this, Brad. That they caught the guy, and he's allegedly a Republican. And I don't know if y'all remember what I said yesterday. Wouldn't it be crazy, or the day before yesterday? I said, wouldn't it be crazy if it was like a person like that was anti-Trump Republican type of dude that did it? But I'm not sure if he's Republican or not. This is what I'm seeing in the hallway.
Yeah, so it appears he's registered as an independent. He didn't like Charlie Kirk from some of the stuff that, because like, you know, the internet, you are not safe in the internet. But he apparently did not like Trump, did not like Charlie Kirk, believed that fascism. He was registered as an independent. His parents, however, were Republicans. So maybe that's where people are getting the constructs mixed. But so far, he was raised by Republicans, you know, normal town. I would say that he got more radicalized off the internet. I would say this is something that people are not willing to accept, that their kids, especially, you know, kids, cannot take a simple conversation, and they are more radicalized on the device in their hand rather than the actually just sitting down and having a discussion. But what I find ironic was Thomas and Montel and Marshall and whoever else on here, and I'm not making comparisons because none of them are on the same playing field. But what I find historically comparable is Charlie Kirk never espoused violence. He never said, hey, I want to shoot people, I want them dead. He never wished harm on anybody. He would talk about stats. Sometimes he didn't like them. Sometimes his stats were wrong. Sometimes he just said flat out bullshit. And other times he said truth. But what I find weird is people like Malcolm X. He said facts. He brought interpretations. Sometimes he said bullshit. Martin Luther King, same thing. Heck, you can even go to like Jesus Christ. Like all these people, just for speaking words, have been killed because of a fear of those words. And it's weird when I look through history of famous speakers and philosophers and people, and then I'm not putting Charlie Kirk in the same cabinet, but it seems that every time a peaceful approach is used to invoke an awakening, to evoke a change in heart, there's a violent reprisal. And so, and it's always by those who are claiming the other is some sort of tyranny, some sort of contamination, some sort of infection onto the populace of the mind, and that they are saving the world. That's what each of these killers believes. It's just weird that we don't sit there and actually say, hey, hold on a moment. Why are we afraid of words? And what examples are we doing? And why are we allowing idiots like this to fester in the universe? But I don't know, Thomas. You were partially right. I'll give you that.
I appreciate it. And here's the thing. I want people to know I still want his head cut off. This doesn't change anything. I still want his head cut off. Okay? I know they're going to be seeking the death penalty like they said. Yes, cut this nigga's head off. He's got to go. He's got to go. But to your point, Brad, about the radicalization, this is what I was talking about before. Remember, I was talking about the social media thing and parents having, control of what their children are looking at. Because you're right, especially in this day and age, we have the internet gives our children so much access to things, and without proper supervision, we see this type of radicalization. Because again, someone deciding to get a gun and kill somebody because they simply disagree with the rhetoric is something that should not be tolerated, number one. Number two, shows there's some type of mental instability and that you're probably not fit to be with society, and you need to go, meet whoever it is that you decide that you want to pray to. You got to go.
That's freaking crazy.
Hey,
Montel or Tio, where are you guys?
I was trying to catch on to what y'all was saying, but just to speak on what I think, I don't think he deserved to die. No, I don't think nobody deserved to die over Reddit. But if somebody's gonna have cry a sympathy tear for someone that says the things that he said, no, because I don't even like anybody that spews hate and different things like that. I watch a lot of his stuff for the past couple of years and different things, having debates he does and stuff like that. So I'm not one of the people that have seen clips. I've been watching him for a minute when he was going through the campus and stuff like that or whatever. That just some of the comments he said, it was just like, fuck no. But him deserve to die? No. But I don't believe in that. But I think that people need to get back to what Dave Chappelle he said in the stand-up show back in 2003. I think it was Kill Me Softly or something like that.
Dave Chappelle, yeah. Dave Chappelle, Kill Me Softly.
Yeah, he said, he's like, one thing about white people I realized, they never talk about politics. He said, I was talking to the dude. He was like, so who you voting for? He said, bro, I'm trying to think about fucking my wife, and you want to talk about politics? It's like, we need to get back to a time where people didn't talk about a lot of shit they talk about and start treating each other like as normal people. Because today's like people are now, it's like something my homie had a conversation with. When people have a basic level conversation about something, everybody's good. When you get in detail and different things like that or whatever, then that's when shit starts to actually fucking get people to start arguing and different things like that. Because people have major disagreements and different things like that. Definitely kind of politics and different political views and different things like that. But it's just not respectful than why we're saying it. You feel me? Just two things. He said something about women. He said that if a woman is drunk and she gives consent before they have sex or while they're having sex, she should not be able to take consent back. That's wild. Another one is Juneteenth shouldn't be a holiday. That's it. Just there's a lot of things he has said as I watch and stuff like that, but just those two things, just alone, it's like kind of fucking wild. Or when he was on stage, he called this Asian dude a chink. It's like I said, no one deserves to die over words and shit like that, but a person with that type of spirit, people are gonna have a positive.
That's one of the worst things about social media, and I say that respectfully, my good man. It's just that people will hear clips and not understand context. When Charlie Kirk, let's just talk about the whole consent thing. What Charlie Kirk was talking about is retroactively saying I'm taking back consent once the deed is done. So if I go have sex with a girl, right? And that day later, the girl's like, you know what? I don't like how he's treating me afterwards. So I'm gonna retroactively retract my consent and say that he raped me. I agree. You should not be able to do that.
Yeah,
okay. So then he's not talking about while he's having sex with her and she says, "Oh, I don't want to have sex with you anymore." He's like, "No, I'm gonna keep doing it."
No, everything you just said,
I didn't hear him say it again. I heard.
You gotta realize, I'm not gonna say I was a Charlie Kirk fan or whatever, but I watch a lot of his stuff. I never like authoritarian somewhat. I've been watching for the past couple of years. With him going on campus debating with students.
Yeah, I gotta see that because you sent it to me because I saw when I was saw this is a couple years ago actually. So I'm not gonna say I can recite it verbatim, but I do not remember that section where he said if they're engaging in sex and she says, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore," for him to continue to force on her. I don't remember him saying that. What I remember him saying was if she retroactively retracts consent after the sexual situation, then that is like you shouldn't be able to do that.
No, he did say that. Like, I'm not saying he didn't say it. He did say that.
Okay.
Because he did say it. So your memory's not wrong. He did say that, but when they got deeper into the argument, he's like, every time he gets mad on a debate, he goes deeper into a hole, and you just be like, what the fuck?
If he said that was appalling. If he said that, I gotta see this. If he said that, that's appalling. I agree.
You
But
want
again,
a clip on this so that we could just hear it? Because I don't mind it.
I gotta find it. I gotta find it real quick.
Because I know like I actually went and looked this up. So two things. One, the guy's name was Chink. Like I don't know how to say it otherwise. Like it just is his name. Like I mean there are
really?
Yeah. Like I've met some weird fucking names in my life. I was in the military, Navy. There's some weird names out there, man. Some of you should think about your names on your kids. Like, you put them through trauma, especially in the military. Like, we are going to go after them. Like, I got nicknamed Alphabet for the longest fucking time. Like, we're just brutal on that shit. So, like, think about your kids when you're naming them because their life choices are going to have direct consequences in relation just to their fucking name. So, but yeah, I believe that the guy's name was actually Chink. Like, that's literally, I don't know how it was spelled, but it was literally the guy's name. So he was addressing him by his name. So, I mean, I get your point and the vernacular and the slur, but if it's the guy's name, like, what did you want him to do? Sorry, I can't call you this. I have to call you, my Asian American. Like, I don't know. I feel a certain way. But again, if you have the clips and you have the evidence, we can go through and do a deep dive and listen to the context and kind of gauge what was there.
I mean, I should have saved it because I was like, I'm pretty sure I don't have in a room like this, whatever. Because I'm in New York right now, New York Fashion Week. So I'm in my hotel trying to charge my phone real quick before I go to the next fashion show. So I would just.
Was he talking to Chink Uger from the TYT?
I think wasn't that the one he was talking to?
Because the only person. Because I know like the TYT guy is Chink. Like that's his name, Chink Uger.
I'm not sure. I gotta go back and look it up, bro.
But to the whole thing about like, yeah, it's messed up that the guy died for his opinion, regardless of how you felt about his opinions. Like, and then like there's a lot of people online saying, F having sympathy for him, F having empathy for the guy. And my thing is, you don't have to have sympathy or empathy for the guy, but at the very least, you don't have to celebrate the guy dead. At the very least, you can at least have an iota of human decency for human life, period, regardless if you agree or disagree. Because pretty much, if that thing comes back around and gets pointed back at you, would you expect people to, would you be okay with people feeling the same way about you? Saying F you, F your sympathy, and just be celebrating who you do as you. So,
what was your question? I know it was something, but I know it was just a joke.
Oh no, pretty much like if the roles was the other way around with the people celebrating his death. Like, would you want people celebrating your death?
I mean, to be honest, if you was an asshole or something like that, I think a lot of times people expect people to be like that. You got to realize, think of a person that knows he's gonna get hit in the mouth and shit like that. For talking shit to people. If I walk in a room
getting punched in the mouth and getting your ass beat is not the same.
But I'm saying is, if you know, but it's the same thing because you never know what's gonna happen. You feel me?
That's true.
Because I'm just saying is if I know I'm an asshole, I know I talk shit and shit like that. I'm not. A lot of times I'm not gonna sit. No, I know I'm not gonna get killed. But I might get my ass kicked. You just never know what another person is going to do in general. So it's like if you carry that type of spirit, it's the energy and different things like that. So if you talk like that and walk like that, more likely if you grew up in certain neighborhoods that people operate like that all the time, then it's like there's a possibility that you're going to get your ass kicked or get shot.
Freedom of speech is not freedom of consequence. I get what you're saying. With that being said, again, I don't agree with like what happened. But let me read what our dear good brother Dr. Umar Johnson said.
He said he don't agree with it.
Yeah, he says, while I did not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric and considered him, this is the most pro-black nigga we got. While I did not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric and considered him to be an anti-black bigot, I will never rejoice at the loss of life of anyone who has not directly participated in the unaliving of a member of the black African race. I am ashamed to see members of my community celebrating this situation. I will never ask you to mourn the loss of an enemy of our race, but to celebrate an unaliving is completely unacceptable. We know all too well that the greatest recipients of political assassinations in this country have been our own people. Stop laughing at the misfortunes of others and get prepared. Political assassinations have returned to the United States of America, courtesy of the deep state. So yeah, even this brother here, okay, the most militant pro-black brother we may have, okay, at least that has this type of clout, all right, is saying that he finds it disgusting to celebrate the destruction. You don't gotta like the nigga. Go ahead.
But I'm gonna say this before I walk. I'm about to walk down Times Square. This might be loud as hell. I'm gonna say this though, right? Even black people are saying they don't agree with everything I just said. You feel me? Like they don't agree with him dying and shit like that or whatever. You feel me? Going to the comments, different things like that. I'm seeing more white liberals that's like, fuck yeah, yeah. It's like I'm seeing more of that. But you see social media on the other side saying black people are happy that he died. I'm like, what? It feels like when I'm at a job and me and his white dude working, we do the same goddamn job.
Bitcoin hit another all-time high. Cue headlines, cue the panic buys.
It's like,
if they do indeed cut
that's
next week, and it seems
But
highly likely
this is
they
the
will.
thing, though. You may not see it. You may not see it.
Yeah, we have a 2% inflation target.
You may not have seen it, but I have seen it, and I'm like, in my opinion, that shit is.
I remember I said I didn't say I didn't see it.
Okay,
but
either way, it's uncalled for because the whole point of the guy was like debate him on stuff that he prove him wrong. That was his thing. Prove him wrong. And in my opinion, at least when it came to racial topics, 99% of the time, his opinion, I feel like he had the thing that he is seeing is correct, but the other stuff was completely wrong, in my opinion. And I wish somebody who was more educated in these subjects had the opportunity to debate him on those subjects. Because, even like how Brad said earlier, sometimes the statistics he used are just flat out wrong. It's just straight up wrong. And the people that he's debating, they don't know this stuff because they're not, they're not real versed in this stuff. And I just wish he had the opportunity to debate somebody on those topics who actually know what they're talking about, and possibly, you know what I'm saying. And let's see where we go from there. And let's see if he's really when he's recruited with facts, that's proven facts to your face. Will your mind really be changed, or are you going to continue to say the things that just straight up not true?
Yeah, but also like this, someone said that in another room, they said they're not blaming black people for shit. I'm like, shit. Hey, in OC right now, they're marching saying, white man fight back, white man fight back. We didn't do the shooting. Another white man shot you. It's like, fight back. Who are you fighting back? The government. Who are you going to fight back?
I agree. That's crazy.
That's crazy because we didn't do shit. We just sitting there like, hey, yo. So don't get mad at the person that pulled the trigger.
But you gotta look at it like this though, man. Some people in this world are just hateful people, and when you have people that anger hateful people, those hateful people look for reasons to hate and to be hateful for others. So for some people, this is just an excuse to do some of the things they wanted to do anyway.
I ain't think of it like that, but yeah, you're right. You know what? I'll take it back. I'm always trying to think PG. So yeah, you're right. 100%.
And I was going to add into that white man fight back. Yeah, I've heard about this a couple of times. It's been rising up through certain groups. I'm not really behind any of that shit because I think it's I'm gonna be honest. I think it's retarded. But it was actually coming off of the backs of the girl that was stabbed in the subway. That's where it was kind of getting its forecast from, and in the lack of the media coverage and people saying who gives a shit, it's just a white girl. But yeah, other people were saying, well, but we're out in the streets protesting the minute a black person it would have been done this way. So they were saying it's time for white men to fight back, and that was the crux of that. Or I guess I would say the genesis to the start of that. Charlie Kirk just seemed to envelop that, and that's.
Yeah, and I agree with the white girl and stuff like that, right? That's just like that did happen and stuff like that. But with Charlie Kirk, it's like, who the fuck you fighting back? Because it ain't a black man that did it. It's like it feels like I'm back at a job or whatever. When, like I said before, I get crucified when I do the same thing the white dude did, and a white dude gets a pat in the back or just like, oh, just do this. I'm like the fuck. Let's blame the white dude that actually pulled the trigger, not the black dude that's saying, I don't give a fuck.
So maybe many of you don't know this. So a few weeks ago, I was introduced to Telegram and introduced to a whole web, and I've been waiting to do a whole expose on this. And who knows? Maybe I'll get shot before I get to release this, or maybe I'll get shot while talking it. At this point, because that's how we do with it. When people want to talk about subjects that are sensitive to others, we're just going to shoot them from now on, or stab them, or do something. But
surrender.
what I look at
that never
is
works.
I've been
That's
diagnosed,
impractical.
and
I'm like,
there
that's how
is
World War II
a
ended.
white man,
It was unconditional surrender.
or a white man talking, or a white man push. And I'm going to tell you,
Fantasy. I'm like, okay.
when this event happened, I'm pretty sure Thomas and many others in the room heard me say that this should not be a race war. You need to stop it. It doesn't need to be racialized. It doesn't need to go through a racial lens. I did my little part. I'm nobody. I'm insignificant. Nobody matters. If I died tomorrow, nobody would remember my name. I am on a monument, though. Fucking A, I got that one in stone. But I'm telling you this, I could care less. I had a good life. But this part, motherfuckers are starting this and saying this, and they're getting angrier. I'm not talking like white supremacist, white Ku Klux Klan kind of thing. And these motherfuckers aren't going to Target to buy bed sheets and put little fucking crosses on them and buy tiki torches. These aren't those guys. And when you try to make them those guys, they're going to get even more vile, and you're going to end up looking stupid and proving wrong, and it's just constantly going down this thread, because that's all the left really has, is to say that these guys they're white supremacists for standing up for it. They're just tired of being condemned for everything that's wrong. These guys are just like regular white kids, 18 to 30. They're white kids. They're tired of being blamed. They're like, I wasn't even fucking a sperm cell in my daddy's nutsack when all of you had these problems, and now I have to answer for it. They're looking at the way that they're told. They went through, Robin DiAngelo's and many others, white guilt, and you need to be ashamed for being born white. You have all this stuff, and they're looking at the struggles, their impoverishment, the fact that they're poor, the fact that they watched the greatest wealth transfer in an entire lifetime occur under the pandemic. They're watching that their families and their parents aren't leaving the world a better place. They don't have very much to go forward. And they're tired of the duplicitous media, which, you know what, black people had a right. There was fucking bias and resentment in there. But the same sense is, wait a minute, we're not doing this as white men, but now black men can go out here and create a riot and then avoid trouble. But if white men do it, it's a Klan rally. They're racist and all this. They're getting mad at the hypocrisy, because now you have a new generation.
But Brad, see, that's where the misinformation comes from. I be hearing a white dude say that. They would think a black dude do something, he gets off. Like, no, people are going to jail, dead ass, for even the smallest shit, especially in LA. You see riots and shit like that. These people got charged a lot of times. The ones that did not get charged, just like my mentor, he did not get charged. He was doing a lot of crazy ass shit. He's a white dude. He got stopped on the wrist. I think it's out of just misinformation. It's also parenting when it comes to talking about race at a young child, at a young age. I think that even for this both sides, it's not just on white side, white people. Just this is for black people and white people. People when they talk about race.
I agree with
happened.
you. I agree with you. There is an old man on here who goes by Alan D. And this fucking crotchety fucking retard from fucking California, who is a conservative for a whopping total of 2 seconds, said yesterday that, you know, Trayvon deserved what he got because he was in the wrong fucking neighborhood. Like, I'm all with you. I like, let's go shoulder to shoulder and like let's start drop him in the volcano. Like, I'm good with that. Like, I don't need those guys. I really don't. I don't want them. And he'll hide behind a whole lot of like white people, and he'll blame black people. He's like, black people caused this, and you all know who I'm talking about. This is the old man that takes 30 minutes to land one fucking point, and it could be the sky is blue. Thomas, don't laugh at me. You know it's true.
No, Brad, I'm gonna say this though, right?
That's y'all beef, man.
I'm gonna say this before I walk out this hotel, right? This is the thing, right? When black people talk to their kids about race, they tell them how to be fear of white people and be fear of you might not get this job because you black, operate like this. And white homes, I'm assuming, but a lot of times it's not being discussed at all.
Everybody on stage, everybody in the audience, hope you're having a great day.
Trace your own mindset on whatever it is. So it's like, instead of saying it's your fault, saying this is where we came from and this is where we're going. It's not going nowhere. The conversation is always going to be there, no matter what. But trying to bury something and different things like this, like that, this is what we get today. And I think that's the problem. Can people from both sides just be like, yes, it happened. How can we fix this? If not, then just have an understanding of history. That's our history. And the thing is, the more some people want to bury it, to say it wasn't us, and I'm like, no one wants nothing from it at all. Just acknowledging it happened, and that's about it.
No, I get that. Like, and we should acknowledge. Like, we should acknowledge a lot of things, like the various 5 land grants. We should acknowledge the fact that we were, as a nation, literally had a policy, like a national federal policy, and allowed states like California trying to be all great. Like, you know that they pushed and got a legislation to ban all Orientals. Yes, they called them Orientals back then, but they had an anti-Asian exclusion, right? Like, we interred Asian Americans or Japanese Americans or anyone we called, what was the term? Nips or Zips, whatever they called them. Nips from World War II. We rounded them up, took their land. This is the most egregious shit. Like, people talk about reparations and all that shit. They took these Japanese people, put them in one of 4 camps, mind you. The one was really fucking bad. But, and then gave reparations to the tune of, like, I think it was like 10 to 20,000, depending on which camp you were in, and you had to prove you were in. George Takei from Star Trek was in one of them. He gave a whole big speech about this shit, and he was really pissed off just for even getting it from Ronald Reagan. They got like 20,000, but here's the thing: they never got their land back. So a lot of these guys were farmers. They were big time. They had land houses. They were all set up. They were like as American as you and I, and they lost absolutely everything. They lost their wealth, their assets. They were just, the government took it and then never gave it back. And like, I was floored by this, that people didn't realize, like, oh, they got reparations, yeah, but what was taken from them was so fucking worth more. Imagine you had land in California, like today, like fuck no. You know, there's all those vineyards. You know that racist fucking cracker, Alan Dean. That motherfucker is probably resting on some Japanese land who had a farm there, and now he's crying about black people. Like, you know that shit happened, and then we're not acknowledging that. Black people had patents, writings, music, instruments, lettered words, songs, artwork. It's literally in museums. I'm pissed off at the fact that everyone's mad at Trump and the Smithsonian which they debunked this one, but basically the Smithsonian taking down certain black art or museums doing this. I do not understand why people are mad at the museum taking it down when you're not mad at saying, hey, give that fucking piece of art back to that family. That was stolen. You know how many pieces? There's so many of those. Most of them were bought on the black market. I'll give the museums that. They're really great at that. But there is a significant portion of Black American history art that is stolen, literally from black people. But nobody wants to argue that. It's weird that we don't talk about it, and I agree with you. We should talk at great lengths about these.
I think people do talk about that. But to that point, is this just about Charlie Kirk's legacy or about like marginalized folks?
It can be about pretty much where you're at. We're staying around the Charlie Kirk thing, but I'm going to wander in and out because there's other topics I want to bring into this and other facets. Because I'm really pissed off that Annapolis had to go into lockdown yesterday. There was a shooting at Annapolis, Maryland. For those of you who don't know, the greatest officers in any branch of the service are born there. Those are the United States Naval officers. They are the only ones that matter. They have the men's division of all the military forces. So let's keep that in mind. We want to really protect those boys and girls. So make sure you're aware of that. But go ahead.
Yes, they love the scene.
They were part of this whole operation. And he said, I don't know about that, but the planes left from Qatar, fueled up in Qatar, landed in Qatar, came back to Qatar, and then left from Qatar. But didn't that disprove?
Authentic, you there?
Disprove what I said, but
He said he's a whore.
Okay.
Hey, but hey, but I was saying with like Brad, like I totally agree. Like,
I don't think Israel needs to wait for the green light.
I don't know.
To protect the sovereign nation
I just like the more people try to bury stuff under the rug. And we know this. It's like a marriage, right? What happens in a marriage when y'all don't talk about it? Y'all don't resolve it. Y'all don't fix it. Y'all end up getting divorced. Divorce could be ugly or it could be whatever. You know? But the thing is that it's actually right that two people kind of play conflict are tied to other people's mindset on different things. And I just feel like if people don't get their mind right and how people are, we're gonna have like a big whole effect.
We're kind of cutting in and out, but Hikima, Tanti, the Better American, you can feel free to chime in. Anybody can come up on stage.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Charlie Kirk, just for a brief moment, even though he doesn't really need any of his name in my mouth, absolutely. But I just think that like this like left-right division of like how people are looking at this, it's not really nuanced at all. It's like the guy said some things that were, I mean, not just dog whistles, right? These are like things that actually like impact people's lives. You know, basically saying this is like going back to like the white eugenics and like the supreme kind of shit. And I think when that happens, and based on other things that he said about, you know, guns and stuff like that, like a lot of people are like, yeah, good, you know, dude got what he deserved. Like I'm hearing that throughout, like, you know, where I am politically. And then I'm also seeing like, dude, this is just a person, and there was like a 4-year-old who got shot 560 times, and no one's talking about that, you know. So I think that this whole like thing around like him being like a white dude, it's just like obviously there would be not the same weight. It doesn't hold the same weight as the George Floyd. It doesn't hold the same. He does not hold the same weight as a Martin Luther King. But what he did do is he did challenge people on issues that were, you know, inflammatory. And if that's what you wanted to make your money on, make your money on that. America is good for that. America has, you know, people who do that all the time. Alex Jones being one of them, you know. But to sit there and like create not just like tears in society about actual race, like just like race wars and identity politics, and like really going into like these like real things about like, oh, you must be this X because you believe in Y. And that's what we've been doing. And people like that have been, are Charlie Kirk. Like, Charlie Kirk is that person. Charlie Kirk has done those things. I think his legacy will go down for him being an anti-black. And here's the thing: is like, you know, people are like, well, point out his racism. Well, he's just always talked about how black people need to like essentially pull themselves up by their bootstrap. And with that kind of like, with that verbiage and with that person, it's easy to understand how that person thinks if they're coming from a mindset of debating another person, whether they're white, black, Asian, Latino, you know, Puerto Rican, whatever, about the simple thing of like, well, black people's brains are smaller and less developed, and it's just like when you go to that.
Charlie Kirk never said that about.
I don't remember him saying that at all. I was gonna wait till he's finished, but I never said that. I don't remember him saying that at all. Go ahead.
Charlie Kirk goes into a thing about eugenics and about
Can you? We can pull it up because I have his entire thing here. You said Charlie Kirk on eugenics. Do you have the date or?
I mean, I'm literally just speaking, but I could pull it up. Yeah.
Okay. Because one of the things too is I've always. I don't mean to cut you off, brother. I just for example, as a black African man here, I'm not from well, my ancestors probably were from Africa, but I'm from America, African American, I should say. I have told niggas to get their shit together constantly. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Nobody's gonna fucking save you. No, but you don't. Again, this is not the type of world we live in. There's a lot of broke, fucked up white folks out here. Every time I drive to go get me something to eat in Portland, there's white folks on the fucking street starving. Okay, you know, I'm pretty sure Charlie Kirk felt like these niggas need to get their shit together too. Okay, but again, it's just like when we throw this whole aspect of racism because he says something that makes black people cringe. Like that's not racism, man.
No, you're right. It is not racism, but he's also not pointing out those white people in Portland, right?
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to though. That still doesn't make it racist. When I'm talking about like a certain, if I'm talking about, I'll let you rock. If I'm talking about a certain community, and that's where the crux of my argument is, I don't need to bring other communities into the conversation. Okay, I can have that conversation without doing that. Just because if I'm getting on white folks' case and saying, oh well, Asian people do it too, or black people do it too, or vice versa. Again, I say this, I'll let you rock. I just find that whole argument disingenuous. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the argument isn't disingenuous. He basically talks about black people as if they're less than.
Let's be honest here. There's a terrorist standing. Do you also believe that it becomes a problem when you're a terrorist, you don't wear a uniform, and you declare yourself to be an army and a resistance fighter, and you're hiding within civilians in the same clothing that they're wearing? Don't you think that people should take some type of responsibility of their actions and say, hey, let's actually protect the people. Let's do what BB's doing. Let's protect the people of the country that we're living in.
Hey, BB, can you put me in the queue? This is John. Hi, if you could put me in the queue, I just want to read from the Tanya for 60 seconds, if you could, whenever you're ready. But I'd like to just reset the room by doing 60 seconds of Tanya whenever you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Now I gotta find the book. I put it in the chat. So give me.
Okay, guys, let me go. Who was next? I know also.
I'm just going to say there's. Yeah, I know Cypher and Reverend. For those of you that don't know Mr. Charles, I'm going to have you go next. But if you don't know this man, Charles, I have been on Clubhouse for 5 years. And there have been a lot of people that preach Bible, preach God, preach all their religions and all of this stuff. I have met maybe, I can count on my hand, 5 people off of this app that actually practice it, say the same thing over and over again, and validate and back it up. Even when I have gone toe-to-toe in screaming matches against them. If you don't know who they are, I'm going to introduce you to one. His name is Charles right here. This man speaks it, walks it, lives it, drinks it, eats it, and does everything else, builds with it. and he does not change his rhetoric. He never moves from his stance. He's said the same thing for 5 years. He's never wavered, and even in the most difficult circumstances, even the most contentious conversations, he'll either say, I don't know, I don't have an answer, I'll have to contemplate on that, I'll have to research that. He does not give you false hope and does a lot of crap, even though him and I vastly can disagree on many topics. But please, Reverend Charles, go ahead. Charles, take it away, and the rest of you should click on him and follow him and listen to some of the words he says, because the world would be a better place if he did.
Well, thank you so much, Brother Brad. I wasn't expecting that introduction. We have to be fair to Mr. Kirk, and there's a lot of unfairness going on towards Mr. Kirk, and I vehemently disagree with Mr. Kirk's politics and talking points. But to say that he's racist, well, we don't know Mr. Kirk, so we can't say whether he's racist or not. That's not fair. He may not be a racist, but he has said some things that I believe are racist things. And I can give you just a couple of them. But we can't judge his heart and then say he is this when we don't know the man. And there were a lot of people that love this man. So we have to be careful in speaking about the death of this man. Same thing happened when, the Nation of Islam in the 60s hated black people. But when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, Malcolm X made some unfortunate comments. They had a lot of truth to them, but they were unfortunate comments because the nation loved this man. And we have to be sensitive to people who are in mourning. We cannot lose our humanity in the name of our ideology. And I've seen some horrible things that people have said about Mr. Kirk. The worst thing, it almost made me cry, but the worst thing I heard somebody say was they put up a picture, and Lord, I hope this person lost me.
Okay, I got the Tanya ready.
For the first time in our life, we can actually seriously die for our opinion.
Yes, which is very problematic.
Yeah, so it's got to the point where it matters what you think, because someone will kill you for it. And if you're presented in the media like as an enemy of someone just because of what you think or your opinion, you can literally lose your life. And that means against powerhouses where, you know what I mean? For example, if you're a boxer and you're in a bout and this person is very heavy, so you're fighting a heavyweight and you're a featherweight, it truly matters what comes out of your mouth because they will whoop you harder. And I guess in this boxing match, Israel is the heavyweight, and Qatar is the featherweight at the moment because, Qatar tried to mind their business, but they're catching strays right now. Because, Qatar's...
But at the same time, listen, so if we're going to do your analogy about a boxing match, and obviously you'd have to sign up to that boxing match to be involved in a boxing match with a heavyweight and you're a featherweight, don't you think you should take some type of responsibility and realize you're about to get into a fight with a heavyweight, that you're probably going to get your fucking nose broke or lose a couple of teeth? Don't you think that there should be an evaluation that should be done first?
Calling Qatar No, you're not going to tell me why. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Qatar is a fake state. It's not a real state. It's basically a U.S. military base that's stuck between Iran and the Khalid states. And if you don't think for a minute that Qatar signed off on Israel hitting them, they're doing the dirty work. You have to be fucking retarded to think that the emir of Qatar and the family there didn't know what exactly was about to happen. That's crazy stupid, man. That's crazy stupid.
I never said none of that.
No, you did. You said that Qatar was minding its own business. How fucking retarded you have to be to think that Qatar has any business? Qatar has never minded its own business. Qatar has, shut the fuck up. The only thing Qatar has done, alright, we'll go like this. You can't work. Does your mother raise a fucking animal in a barnyard? You're gonna have to sit down there and listen. Qatar has never not minded its own business. Qatar's entire existence is fucking in other people's foreign policy. This is the whole purpose of Qatar. It's a swing state stuck between the Shia and the Sunni. Put your fucking microphone back on. Put your microphone back on. Good boy. Put your microphone back on. There you go. Alright. You want to play a game? No problem.
Okay, I'm ready to read the Tanya and help give you that hard light reset you're all looking for.
My God, the shit that you hear on this app is insane.
All right, everybody. This is called the Prophet of Sadness. The 26th entry of the Tanya. It says, in every sadness there will be profit. What is the profit in sadness? A broken heart shatters the self and the glittering shell of selfishness that seems to separate you from God. A broken spirit, a broken heart, you will not despise. When your heart is broken over the suffering you have caused, your sense of otherness is shattered, and you can no longer ignore the suffering of others. You are able to hear joy and gladness. Just as you recite a blessing for good fortune, so you must recite a blessing for misfortune. Why? Because your suffering attunes you to the suffering of others, and being so attuned breaks your heart, allowing the light of God to pierce the iron ball of isolated self. Hence it is written, the Most High abides in secrecy. This is the commentary. The way of awe through Torah is not for everyone, nor is the way of mitzvot, spiritual practice. So the Alter Rebbe offers yet another path, the way of the broken heart. The heart conditioned by the isolation of the Sitra Achra, the other side of God that denies your connection with God, is encased in Kelipa Noga, the glittering shell of selfishness. Such a heart is hard yet also brittle. It loves what it loves for its own ends, and because it loves this way, it often causes needless suffering that ultimately destroys what it loves. When love is lost, there is heartbreak, a moment of sadness so sharp as to crack the shell of selfishness. When the shell is cracked, you experience the suffering of others. And because you experience the suffering of others, you connect with them. This connection is the voice of joy and gladness. Hence, even a moment of great sadness can be a moment of greater transformation. For in that sadness and self recognizes its interconnection with the other. In this way, God realization, Da'at Devakut, is the secret profit in even the most terrible suffering.
Thank you. That was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, if I could finish what I was trying to say earlier, that would be nice.
What his judgment is between him and God, right? We have the ability as free living human beings to feel however we want to feel about the things that that man says, because it does have consequences. Words and wars always started with words, and words can produce war or peace. That man was not speaking about peace. That man was not was not shitting on white folks the way he was doing black people, right? So it's clear as to who he was. And I don't think that anything about that, if it's being fathered at home and reared at home with his children, well, then they could be subject to the same kind of ideology and reckless behavior. And I hope that they don't go down that route.
I appreciate the submission. Couple things. I'm gonna give it to hand it to Sarah. I say this is not directed towards Cypher. I'm just talking about generally. I always find it hypocritical because he mentioned that Tupac was a good man. Tupac rapped about degeneracy. Okay, a lot of rappers, black rappers, rap about degeneracy, killing and causing absolute chaos. Again, when we hear these. Oh, I'm sorry. I could have sworn you said he was a good. You said Tupac, he was a good man. We were going your soliloquy. I could have sworn you said that. You didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
Okay, let's just say. Okay, I'll take that back. If you said you didn't say it, I won't say you said it. If you say you didn't say it, I could have sworn you said that. But let's just say you didn't say it. The overall aspect of it. Again, I don't have a problem, me personally. I think most people don't have a problem if you don't like Charlie Kirk and you're not saying I mourn him. I don't care about him. That is perfectly fine. What people have an issue with is the celebration and mocking of the death. Because again, for example, Philando Castile and things like that, when we see black injustice, I know for a fact, and I'm not talking about Cypher because Cypher is an individual, but I'm pretty sure the black diaspora is not going to be okay if white America got up and started clowning people like Philando Castile and others. Not saying that they didn't do it, but it was still frowned upon if they met an untimely demise. Okay, this is where the humanity aspect comes in. I think what Brother Charles was talking about. You don't have to like your enemy. Okay, you don't have to like them. You don't have to. You don't have to. Mourn and cry online and carry on and so forth. You don't have to do all that. It's like, but most human beings are like, you know what? I didn't like this individual, but I don't wish anybody being executed like that in front of their family, bro. Death is a serious thing. It's not for play. There's no, extra men. You're out of here. You're out of here.
That's right,
okay.
brother.
And people take that. And again, I'm not that old, but the older that people get, people start to realize and start to understand that, hey, this is not a joke. Of course, when we're younger, we sit back and we joke around about death because we think we're invincible. That shit ain't gonna come for us. It comes for all of us. And sometimes it's not gonna be pretty. A lot of black people have gone out kicking and screaming and not in peaceful ways, and there have been white folks that have celebrated and mocked it, and it has not been good or fun to see or hear. And I know a lot of black people in general don't like that. So my thing is, in generally speaking, if you don't like that, don't do it to other people. Okay, people can be militant. I've been in those. Again, I've said this before. I've been in those militant black groups. I've listened to these individuals speak on a multitude of occasions, whether it's Sinetta, Brother Polite, whether it's Young Pharaoh, or whoever it is that people want to talk about within those smaller circles of our community that espouse some very, very venomous and nasty rhetoric when it comes to other ethnicities and cultures. It is not just white folks that they're talking about. If you listen to a lot of what they're saying. So again, we hear these things that exist on both sides. If Charlie Kirk was spouting ignorance, the man was 31 years old. If he was spouting ignorance, that's just what it was. Ignorance. Everybody doesn't agree with that. Some people agree with what he was saying. There's some black people that agree with what he was saying. People from all ethnicities may agree with what he's saying, not just white folks. Okay? And I don't believe Charlie Kirk looked at blacks in overall as the enemy. I understand that I may not have agreed with some of his takes. I thought that some of his takes may have been ignorant.
That's such bullshit.
Okay, but I don't think that he looked at as black people as an overall enemy to his people.
That's so
okay.
Thomas, respectfully, I'm just saying if that's your point of view.
Wait. Hey, no, people don't interrupt you. I don't allow anybody to interrupt. I allow people to have their own.
I'm just saying that's super good.
Well, that's your opinion. Thomas is entitled to his. Is he not? Isn't that what the whole point is?
Yeah.
That's why Charlie Kirk was shot, because people. Wait, hold on. Authentic. He was speaking his opinion. You can.
I'm saying it's disingenuous.
No, it's not. He can have his opinion. You do not get to determine his opinion.
No shit, Brad. I'm just saying I feel like he's being fucking disingenuous. Jesus.
Okay, you can be disingenuous down there. I don't care what your view is. You can wait till he's done. Sarah's next, and then we're going to go to Bert. You can let Thomas land his opinion. Go ahead. I allow everybody to have it on the stage, regardless of which side you are. So don't condemn someone else for having an opinion, because clearly we just had a shooting and somebody died because they had an opinion that's different from yours. And this is the problem that we're having a discussion about today. Because you can't take somebody's opinion and wait till they're done, and then you get irritated and then go disingenuous. So they need to be silenced. I need to interrupt them because I'm more important. You did that, not me. Go ahead.
I appreciate that. Now listen, I don't mind people disagreeing. I want to have the back and forth. Let's have the dialogue. I don't mind that whatsoever. I would have definitely, been willing to hear why he felt like I was being disingenuous. But be that as it may, to Brad's point, again, we all have our opinions. I'm just coming from it, and again, I am appealing to morality. I absolutely am. Okay? And again, when I start based on what I'm saying, but I'm also trying to call out the hypocrisy because I know how sensitive my community can be, especially when it comes to their own. Even if they've been known criminals, okay? I've seen people, I have been around people that have murdered people, okay? Taking like Charlie Kirk hasn't murdered anybody. He just said things people don't agree with or may not like. I've seen people in my community murder people that I've known personally, went to school with these motherfuckers. And people want to sit back and act as if, well, you know what? He was, he was a good guy. He was on his way to do whatever, okay, and so forth. And we don't want people talking, especially other groups, talking bad about them. I've seen it. You can't talk about him. I don't care if he was murdering niggas. You don't talk bad about him, okay? He was our people, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, again, I get it. I'm just saying, let's just have a little bit of humanity, my guys. That's all in there.
Go ahead, sir.
Shit. All right. Thanks, Brad. Thomas, you hit some amazing points that I was going to bring up anyway. Something dawned on me today was that I like. So first of all, the people who were celebrating Charlie's death, it was a disgusting display of kind of a very childish viewpoint of debate and very authoritarian, and anybody who thinks that he deserved to die because of his opinions, I think they're quite small-minded, and yeah, you can think that, Cypher, whatever, I don't care what you think. That's the whole point of being a human being, is you have to hold your own and defend your opinion without silencing the other person. And in terms of the race war that's going on in the US, and it is spilling over in the UK, it's funny, because it dawned on me today that in the last few months, there have been murders on either side. But what was remarkable to me today, which really gave me hope, was that this killer who killed Charlie Kirk, his father brought him in. But you know that college kid who got stabbed on campus, the one who was a twin? There was a GoFundMe, everybody on the black side were like, nah, fuck him, it was self-defense, even though there was nothing to suggest it was. And it's funny how one side can be accountable even to their own, and be straight up with it, but the other side celebrates and demonizes the other side. And I think that's a big problem. It's a brain rot. It's a virus of the mind, and it's a disgusting, disingenuous display of humanity, and I don't like it. But would I kill you? No, because I believe that you would have to atone to God. And if you celebrate somebody dying in front of their family and you think it's a good thing, then you're just showing that Christ isn't in your heart, and I feel sorry for you.
Y'all literally celebrate and make Charlie Kirk a hero after he talked about all types of different groups of people, marginalized people. And now you want to act like you on some high horse, like, how dare someone feel this kind of way? That dude was a racist, a bigot. He was a piece of shit. And no one's saying that he deserved. No one's saying he deserved to die.
I never said.
Lady, I'm still talking. Mute your mic. No one's saying he deserves to die. We're just saying we're not surprised that someone wanted to kill him. That's all that's being said. Like dude spoke violent shit out of his mouth, wicked shit out of his mouth, and therefore, like, he got what the universe had for him. So don't be surprised.
It wasn't the universe. It was another human.
Sir, can you just let him land?
Let him land.
And then after yours and Hakeem's exchange, I'm gonna go.
Y'all literally celebrate him like he's Dr. King or like he's Malcolm X, like he's somebody that's preaching something positive. He's an evil, wicked dude. And he brought evil right into his home, right in front of his children. He brought it right there, and he didn't mind spewing his bullshit in front of other people's children. So who gives a fuck about that?
Sarah, I'm gonna let you respond to that. I just want to say, I think a lot of people in our community, as well. Here, first of all, let me make this very clear. I don't think when you say people are not, celebrating his death, respectfully, they are. That's number one. Number two, when you want to say that he was a piece of shit, that's fair. If you feel like he was a piece of shit, cool. If you don't like him, cool. Okay. I don't think people are upset that people don't like Charlie Kirk. When he was alive, a lot of people didn't like Charlie Kirk. So it's not a surprise. Like, people are, I think you guys are straw manning and missing the argument. What I'm saying, let me bring KK up here. She's got to come up here. What I'm saying is that celebrating someone's demise, especially in as heinous as it was, is probably not very up and up to do. And let's just say, and I'll lay here, let Sarah jump in. If I remember correctly, we did the same thing to George Floyd. A lot of us tried to memorialize him. We put, like, someone bought I think it was what's the boxer's name? That bought him a gold casket, and we got murals and everything of this dude. And if allegedly he was a criminal, Okay, so again, holding people out. Regardless, my point is that let's not act as if we're surprised that there are people that are, wanting to memorialize Charlie Kirk for being quote unquote taken too soon, just like the black community did when George Floyd was taken from us too soon. Let's not act as if we're surprised by this, like you were eloquently saying. We need to be honest about the situation. You don't have to like him. You don't have to, feel bad that he died. Celebrating is the issue, and people are celebrating. Go ahead, Sid.
No, thanks for that. That's what I was going to say. People are celebrating. Can't gaslight me and say that isn't happening. And I wasn't referring to you. So thanks for bringing your ego.
Go ahead, Bert.
Yeah, let's go to Bert, because Bert's been patiently waiting.
I appreciate that.
Can I go last, guys?
Interest.
We got you, Cypher.
Then Cypher go already?
It's okay to get back in the queue. You can get back in the queue. It's all good.
All right, cool. Anyways, my comments are not about the personality of Kirk any more than my comments could be about the personality of Malcolm X. And what I'm going to bring out here is one simple thing. He was a person who inspired a lot of people in positive ways. Just like you would say Malcolm X has inspired people in many positive ways. Doesn't mean I agree with everything either of those gentlemen preached. But I will say, just particularly two people on the panel here are espousing things in a way that is exactly what he preached against. And exactly what even I would say Martin Luther King would have preached against. Malcolm X to some extent.
Okay, this is health and
The point of being able to say, hey, I have a different view without being called a racist, a bigot, a Nazi, a fascist, etc., as he has been called for years, and even in the past week, heard it ramped up even. Van Jones and other TV personalities and such, I'm such a racist because he said this and this, except he didn't say that. And he even had if you go back and look at the last podcast he did, where he even addressed it and took it apart, he goes, okay, he said I said this, now let's look at what I actually said. No, that's not what I said. And that's what I hear a lot of going on here. No, he was not a racist, not at all. He did not believe in the inferiority or superiority of any race. He did not believe in treating any individual better or worse because of their race. He did not believe in anything that would have been interpreted in the sense of being putting anyone down. What he did do was question a lot of things. He questioned puberty blockers for kids and surgeries. He questioned DEI movements and their effectiveness. He questioned a lot of political corruption as he saw it. And he said things that pissed a lot of people off, but he did not do it for clickbait. He did not do it just to make people mad and get a engagement. He's 100% sincere. And he is also a man of faith. And I would hope that some people would, and Charles, actually, thank you, even though I understand your criticisms of him go deep, that you did give him honor in that sense, I think. His faith, my cousin's son, who's about in his 30s, came to faith through Charlie Kirk and got baptized. My son, occasionally will say, "Oh, I saw this TikTok," and he thought he had a good argument. My son, by the way, is by adoption, and from a mother who was in crisis pregnancy and chose to not have an abortion, and he knows that, and he appreciates when someone stands up for the right to life and for the unborn. And when people, it's a free country. I can actually compare him to Martin Luther King in a way. He was a person who stood up, who wanted to make his country better, who fought against the powers that be, who inspired many people to want to do better. I want to do better. And that's, I think a legacy, when you say he will be forgotten, he will have a legacy. Sorry, bro. His legacy is going to rock your world.
Yeah.
Things are just getting started.
Hey, Brad, can I say something real quick?
And
Brad,
hold on, Bert, did you land?
and I'm just going to say, yeah, it's not by any means over. The dialogue is not over. The thing that I've done after reading hundreds of social media posts, listening to conversations like this, is start to invite people into dialogue in real life, not Clubhouse. And that is going to make, I think, a bigger difference. I'm purposely committing to strengthening my relationships with people who have different views and come together and talk about them. And that is definitely, thank you, Charlie Kirk's legacy. Thank you.
Bright son of the blinds out the rest of Jewish history because it's such a massive event. But if you go past the Holocaust and go before, like 250,000 Jews were killed in the pogroms and the Pale settlement. No, probably not. In 25 years, 250,000 Jews were killed. It's our entire history. This has been going on, and I don't think it's fair to Jews to say that. Do you think it's a perceived threat? It's very much a real threat.
That's like holding a gun to someone's
There is a real threat.
You know what? It's like holding a gun to someone's head, and you're threatening to kill them. And when they react, you say, "Hey, come on, what's wrong with you?"
No.
What a question.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I kind of feel like it's not being funny, yeah, but or not biblical. Honestly.
Yeah, it's so difficult.
And where's God involved here?
I don't think there is. I think that God is. I don't know.
So you're suggesting that God inspired Hitler and then his Muslim foot soldiers from Bosnia and Turkey and from Egypt, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just kind of going off the fact that if God is something a biblical word, God tends to be involved somewhere.
Hello, moderators. This is John. I'd like to be put in the queue for 60 seconds. Thank you.
It wasn't needed, bro. You could have just spoke.
Yeah, read your time, yeah.
Like, you could have just spoke instead. Make it weird. Why do people
I'm not trying to make it weird, but sometimes if you don't interject, people can talk for hours. Can I read moderators for 60 seconds? Thank you.
Is this how you act in real life?
On the train, he'd be like this. Hey, guys, wait a minute.
He spent 60 seconds to ask for 60 seconds. What's going on?
Okay,
I don't know. You
Go ahead, John.
Okay, this is the 21st entry of the Tanya God's speech. God's speech is not. Hey, mute up. Mute up. Mute your mic. 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 Okay, here we go. This is called God's speech number 21. God's speech is not like your speech. When you utter a word, the word seems outside of you. But there is nothing outside of God, and no place is empty of him. Even when God speaks and words become worlds, absolute union of God and creation is unbroken, and hence God has not changed. As breath is veiled in sound, becoming word to a listener, so God's light is veiled in form, becoming creation to the created. God perceives no other, for everything is God without distinction. This is what is meant when it is written that darkness and light are the same to God. Even the shells of self are not other than God. Just as a turtle shell is not other than the turtle, thus it is written, Yahweh is Elohim. This is the commentary. Deuteronomy 4:35, Yahweh, the four-letter Hebrew name of God, represents the transcendent, and Elohim represents the immanent.
Okay, let's plug in it.
Oh, you're good, man.
All right, we'll go back to your low IQ communication. Good Shabbos.
Nah, listen, Johnny. I think that this is we good right now. You told us about God. And that was really good. Understand?
No, but John, that was really good. What you're saying. To know one. But at the end of the day, this dude didn't show value to all people. So this dude is sitting here promoting racism. He's promoting white slave ownership. He wanted us to actually go back to slavery as the way of living. Like this, I don't know why some of y'all are bumping this dude up so high. Yeah, he's a smart dude, but at the end of the day, what he was promoting, you got to remember this. I don't give a fuck what age you are right now, but our kids got to fight what you leave behind.
But he didn't. I'm sorry, but he didn't provide that.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
I think he's had long enough to reply to me, hasn't he?
Yeah, but could you allow that man to land his plane though, respectfully?
Okay, but he was replying to me.
No, he's been landing that plane.
Hey, so like, yeah, like Uncle, I'll get you to land your plane. I'll lay opinions out there, but your statement is going to get challenged. I'm going to encourage you to stay on stage. Hold on a second. I encourage you they're going to ask you to source. People are going to ask. I'm going to ask you to source some of these things that you stated. And where you're getting your opinions from. But like this room it is conservative bias. I make no pretenses about that. I don't hide it. I am a conservative. Most of my mods are Republicans or some facet of it. Most of them believe in Christianity. However, I do not tolerate any anti-religious slamming. I don't really care who you practice, preach to, or whatever. I don't have that inner dynamic. I really don't give a damn about race, but since this is a topic that's going to significantly seem to consistently draw, despite my best efforts never to allow it to go there, this is going to be about race. So, we can touch on these, we can go. And Charlie Kirk was speaking on race, so let's have this discussion. But, this is what we want. But, Uncle, finish your point, and then we're going to allow other people to touch on that and challenge what you stated, and I'm going to allow people to...
Just remember I was in queue, Brad. That's all.
I got you, Cypher.
Sorry, who's after him, please? I would love to join the queue.
If I could join the queue as well.
I got you guys. Just go ahead, Uncle, and then we'll go from there. America,
all right. Yeah. So all I'm saying is, we can like him for him being a smart man, but just the narrative that he was pushing, it wasn't real, it wasn't logical, and it wasn't to improving this country's unity. It wasn't. He wanted certain people to be over certain people, and that's just not how it's going to go in this United States. And I'll land it right there.
Okay. Cypher, I know you were supposed to be next after him. Did you want to hold your point?
That was a reply to me, wasn't it?
I can get it out because he was interrupted a billion times. I'll go as quick as I can to get out the way, right? I agree with at least 97.9% of everything that the brother said. I've struggled to find something I disagree with. But to the rhetoric, to people that are being jolted by this truth, you guys want us to listen to your side, right? But I see that you're struggling to listen to another side, which is lacking of empathy. And I also see a struggle with dissonance. There's a lot of people that are trying to water down what this man has been saying this whole time and justifying it and twisting his words into something that could never be, which is righteousness. Nothing about what he stood for in his character demonstrated anything Christ-like or Christian-like. Because if you're getting into that, he wouldn't be so focused on racism in the black community, considering what his people have caused to that particular community, which happens to be also the children of God. And I know that the reason why people are coming off a mic right now, the reason why a lot of people are coming off mic right now is because they're emotionally triggered. This is an indictment of people's character because they align themselves with these racial epithets and talking points. And this is also what's being taught at home, both in black communities and in white communities, because there's a polarization with our race relationships based off of events that have never been dealt with. And I have to charge white people with this. You are charged with the creation of racism, so it is your problem to fix. Black folks, it is our problem to heal from, right? We're responsible for how we deal with this. They are responsible for how they correct it. And it will be corrected by their children, who will grow up in a world with access to information that will judge even their parents. And most of them will be despised of them, and they'll be able to breed them out of existence, because that mindset also hurts other whites. That mindset hurts the planet in itself. It holds humanity back from growth. What Black folks also tend to do, though, is that sometimes we get into this victim mentality, right? As if we don't have the ability to bear arms and fight back, as if we don't have the ability to teach our children better, as if we're waiting on somebody that doesn't want us to get on our feet to help us out, right? So there is some bootstrapping that man was talking about that I do agree with, but from the position that he was speaking of, it was haughty, right? It was definitely deprecating, and none of it was a solution for ourselves. And a lot of it was hypocrisy, because when he talked about the Black fatherlessness, all you have to do is look at the CDC reports that Black fathers are one of the best fathers in the world, right? Also, most people that are that are deadbeat fathers happen to be white males, just like it is true that white males commit most of the crime and they make up the majority.
Okay, Cypher, you said this. Cypher, I'm circling back to it. I'm moving past it, Brad. I'm moving past it. Can I go after him? Hold on, dude. I'm about to land it right now, because for those that were not in the room, the reason why I'm bringing up those points was those were bullet points that I made earlier, and because you had talked about citing specific things, that's the reason why I went back and recapped it. Okay, that's the only reason why I brought that up. But in a combination of things, regardless of his foolishness and how inaccurate he was, what he did do was stir a pot called a conversation. Those conversations can either go either way. It could create situations like what we saw the other day, where people get hurt and injured and killed, which God forbid we don't want to see any more of that, regardless of how we feel about him, right? But then also what it could do is create conversations that lead to solutions that bring us closer together. Can you round so I'm landing right here. I'm landing right here. I'd have been landed if I wasn't interrupted, but I'm landing right here. I haven't even been talking 2 minutes. Yeah, I haven't even been talking 2 minutes. But I like to land right here. I like to land it right here. Because you're not a mod. Whoever's talking right now is not a mod. It's not Brad. And Brad is allowing me to have this little bit of a moment, and I appreciate that. And I said I would make it quick so others can get out the way and get what they want off their chest. Only thing I like to do is the same respect, right? So despite all of these things, right? I agree with what was happening here in terms of the conversation. I know that it's a hard conversation for both people to deal with, Black and white. There's just so happen to be a lot of Black people, though, that I don't agree with, that are actually having empathy and expressing humanity for the same people that are saying, oh, things are just getting started, which sounds like a threat to me. When I say that man's ideology and the way we remember, shut the fuck up. When I said that man's ideology will be marred and remembered the way that it is, and another gentleman says that we're just getting started and making things like that, here's the thing. I'm entitled to my opinion. You're entitled to yours. What we should not do is create and say things that could lead to more bloodshed. If you're really not about that kind of action, let's not speak those things into existence. I'll land.
All right, thank you, Brad. Hold on, let me talk to Brad. Can I talk, please? Relax, bro. Relax. I got you. Let me speak to Brad real quick. Hey, Brad, what are your thoughts about?
I thought there was a queue.
There isn't, bro. I'm a mod. Relax. Jesus Christ. Anyways, Brad, what I'm thinking, tell me how you feel about this, is when it comes to the aspect of having when people give their submission, do you think about maybe 45 seconds to 60 seconds to kind of keep things moving for a response?
Yeah, we're gonna do this. I also don't like having queues a whole bunch. I like having the back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that's what we were doing. I could have talked a long time ago.
Well, yeah,
I was making sure some people were getting through. But Mark, we'll go to you, dude. Like, chill. Miracle. I listen to everybody. Like, trust me. I've been in Clubhouse. We've done this dance before. I've listened to everybody. But yeah, we'll after Miracle, we'll give it a little bit of a popcorn thing and allow people to interject and go through. Because I've read the comments. The last two speakers have said a lot of things that a lot of people are just like, well, when's the pushback? When can I go at this? So we're gonna allow it. So here we go.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to to do a 30 seconds. One second. That's why I want to do the 30-second thing, because I want to give people a chance to push back, because I know a lot of people want to push back on some people's submissions, and I just so won't be like someone's giving their own submission and it's a response to that submission. Let's kind of keep about 45 to 60 seconds, guys, when you're making your response, okay? But you guys got it. Go ahead, Amir.
Thank you very much for giving me this platform. Very quickly, the black community, this is their problem. This is the biggest problem in the black community. Accountability. You see that word? You see that word accountability? You see that word accountability? Accountability is such a strong word, because accountability holds you responsible for your own self and also improves your self-development. If you can't hold yourself accountable, and if you can't let others hold you accountable, then you're just going to be a broken society. Charlie Kirk, everything he said about the black community was 100% right. Do you know why they call him racist? They call him racist because he's a white man. It's like when a mother is told by another mother that her kid is not doing good things. A mother doesn't want to hear that from another mother. She doesn't. It's not going to sound right. She's going to get defensive, obviously. So when you tell them, hey, you guys need to fix up. Hey, you guys are committing most of the murders. Hey, you guys are getting killed by cops mostly because you're committing most of the crimes. It is a fact. The stats prove this. Don't get emotional. Try and change. That's the things you need to do for self-improvement. And I've said it on other rooms, and I've said it in other social media platforms. After Charlie Kirk's death, it breaks my heart to say this, because I live in America as a black person, even though I'm an African, but they see me as a black person. It breaks my heart to say this. Black people in today's America are the most racist and the most hateful group you can ever meet. Because the fact that people are finding an excuse for this man to be kept saying he's a racist, a man of 31-year-old that just lost his wife, had 2 infant kids. The fact that you're justifying that because you didn't agree with him, because he was telling you the truth and you got emotional. Shame on the whole black community. Shame on them. And if they cannot find self-improvement, only God can help them. Only God can help them. Because you can't tell me anything about systematic racism when Africans and other immigrants are coming from other countries with $0 and they're becoming successful in your own country that you've lived in, and you have government benefits.
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Okay,
I got
you. I know. I already know we're gonna come on, but yeah, I got you.
No, we're gonna let a couple other people go ahead of you. So there's other people that have been waiting.
I know people want to respond to it.
I want to come back to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give people 45 to 60 seconds to respond to him. Please do not make it too long. Okay, respond to him, because I know that's something that's gonna be
Cleo back. Cleo.
Okay, so the people that want to respond got 45 seconds. Go ahead. Nobody wants to respond to it? Okay.
I do. I want to go.
Okay.
I will respond.
Let me know when I can speak.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, go 30 seconds.
Wait. Hold on.
And please do not mention anything about me not being American to diminish the debate. That's such a lazy argument.
You're just anti-black. It doesn't matter, American or not.
Can you let
Because I'm telling you the truth.
Hey. So I'm gonna let Captain Anson go, so he can go ahead and give his part. He was the first. Maybe his voice is there, and then we'll move on to the others that chimed in and said they wanted to go. Go ahead.
I've been listening for about an hour. I came into the room to try to find a path forward, to find some form of consensus that what's going on is so wrong on both sides of the aisle. And I have not heard a single thing that promotes that approach, which is so typical of our country today. I'm ashamed of it. I despire over it. And it's the worst that I've ever seen in my 83 years. And it's a crying shame that we can't have constructive conversations about the path forward rather than all the crap I've been hearing from both sides in this room today.
Thank you. 45 seconds.
All right, brother. And to everybody on here, first and foremost, the first thing I sat here and said was, we hate to have anybody lose a life.
anybody. That was what I said first and foremost. So for whoever's sitting there trying to sit here and say I'm trying to blame or anything like that, no, I'm not. I want you to understand something. Every man is in control of his own life, but depending on how we were raised is going to determine how we grow up and how we deliver our message. Now, he just happened to be a person who was sitting here delivering a message of white superiority, whether you want to look at it as any other way or not. He just said it in a smarter ass way to say it. Everything in life evolves, and that includes racism and segregation as well. It was a time that he just sat here and said if he had to see a black pilot, he would question, does that black pilot got his credentials, but he wouldn't say shit to the white one. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's still a form of promoting racism. And
that's not what he said.
And black folks can never be racist. We can be prejudiced as fuck.
Yes, you can be racist. Yes, you can be racist.
Let me break it down.
Let him land.
Let me break it down.
Got a couple seconds. Let him land.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, when you talk about racist means a governing body hates somebody for a particular reason. Now, prejudice is when somebody does something to you that makes you hate them. There's a complete difference. We were hated just because of our fucking skin tone. We hated the people that beat on our people because they beat on our people. It's a difference, bro.
Okay, thank you. We got to wrap it up, my good man.
Let me finish up. I'm just saying this part right quick. We can never be racist because we were never the governing body when this country became the United States of America.
All right, thank you.
Look at what you're saying, man. Look at what you're saying in 1975. Man, you have become...
Hold on. Wait, Miracle.
So what happened when Obama was president?
Hold on, guys. I got to go to queuing. Okay? I don't know if Brad wants to have the back and forth like that. I'm just trying to make sure there's some type of.
If we can do it in an orderly, like you make your points concise. Like we had a couple long-winded speakers, and I'm long-winded. KK's more long-winded than I am, but
what's going on, KK?
Shut your face, Brad.
Can I just give an update, guys? So murder charges have now been laid on the killer. Brad, I back-channeled you and put it in the chat.
What happened? The charges?
They've now laid murder.
Yeah, the aggravated
they've now officially laid charges.
Yeah, the charges are now aggravated murder, so they can seek death penalty. Utah, ironically, has death by firing squad, so that's actually an option on the table right now. So that's kind of ironic in a weird way. I mean, you may get it. This individual is going to be probably put to death. There's
cut his head off. Cut his fucking head off.
Go ahead and respond.
Can I ask one request, Thomas and the mods, real quick? Just one request. It's not. I don't even want to host that section. Yeah. So the gentleman that spoke earlier about the stats,
I think he said queuing is
stats.
next.
That's all I asked.
Yeah. So again, I don't know why people have to keep reiterating sentiments about assassination. What I see people talking about is the fact that what he'll be remembered for definitely varies, right? Because he was divisive, and he did not. It's not like he even served the country. It wasn't like he was in the military. He didn't do great things. What he did was he introduced the same type of tropes about minority groups that were said a generation ago to a new generation. There is nothing new he communicated to the world. All of these criticisms that he issued against women, issued against gay folks, issued against, quote unquote, the Black community. These are all the same tropes that were said by his grandparents a generation and a half ago, when Black people were finally becoming able to participate in this economy fully and participate with their full citizenship rights in this country, period. As it relates to Bert and your child finding Christ, I just want people to understand that the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan was a Protestant Christian organization.
Hey, stop there. Like,
Man,
I get really...
People cannot believe... You can't
Hold on.
believe...
Miracles, best.
Hold on. I feel a certain type of way when kids and spouses get brought up. This room's not really about that. So if you're going to say about his son being converted to Christianity, I'm happy for him. If that's what his son wants or his child and he's happy and you have no words you need to say on that. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care where you're going about the Knights of Columbus and the KKK and whatever fucking dogma you're about to go down. I don't care. His kid has nothing to do with that. So don't make the correlation there, because then I'll just move you down to the audience and you'll stay there for the rest of the day. Because I'm not about that. I feel a certain type of way about that shit. Everybody knows that.
All right, just stating facts and
it's
history,
not facts.
so that we don't forget that professing Christ, but then advocating for
again, you're coming close. I don't care how you're going to passively try to tightrope it. I don't play those games. I'm not about that. I would suggest just stopping, changing course, and leaving it there.
Right. So then I'll shift then. We will remember him. We will remember him saying that when Paul Pelosi was attacked, that a real patriot would bail his attacker out of jail. We will remember all of those things, because these are all of the things he said. You know, this is not a uniter. This person was a divider. And even to his last breath, the thing that was in the forefront of his mind that he wanted young people to know is the same tropes that were said about Black people a generation ago. And I think that's the reason why people aren't really playing his words, because they know that this is what he'll be remembered for. Again, nobody's talking about the fact that he was killed. Nobody deserves to be shot. As a matter of fact, I'm like, well, maybe the answer for school shootings is people need to put cameras in classrooms so that they can see what their children are being subjected to when people bust into their classrooms and shoot them in the head, right? Because maybe then people will feel as passionate about the risks we continue to choose to put our children under as they're feeling for this internet influencer who is very well paid to divide people. And I'll land it.
I thank you for your submission. Let me.
Thomas, can I ask a question?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you. I just want to respond to her as well. So I'm gonna let you ask a question. People get the chance to respond. We're gonna have a conversation. My thing is that I always again when I hear these things, I always find it fascinating. Someone can say something, and then people get two different interpretations for it. And we remember the game Telephone. It's when people will sit back and pass around clips, and then they'll when they start to regurgitate those clips, is not what was the original soundbite. And I'm not directing that at anybody in particular. It's just always find it fascinating. Like people can listen to one thing and then take two different things away from it. And I wonder if there's anything we can do about that at all. But I'm gonna let Miracle jump in here.
I
feel like Chris Rock said it. Chris Rock said it best.
Hold on, Miracle. Let me respond to Thomas.
He actually passed the mic to Miracle.
I feel like you should wait for me, then respond.
Yeah, you should let Miracle go, then we'll go to you, King.
Yeah, I feel like Chris Rock said it best. If you want to, and this is so embarrassing because it's African American. If you want to deceive an African American, you put it in a book. People don't read. People don't actually genuinely sit down to listen to a debate genuinely without emotion, to listen to both sides, hear concise arguments and make conclusions for themselves. People don't do that. Because if I ask any of these people that have said he's divisive, that have said he's racist, tell me specifically word for word what he said was racist, what he said that was divisive. I promise you, it will come down to, like what someone said, your interpretation, your own personal emotion, and you're now generalizing it to the whole black community. It's poisoning the water. Stop it.
Do you want me to
Stop
answer?
it.
I agree. That's actually, I've been thinking the same thing. Those are good words.
You guys have to stop this. You have to stop making personal problems a general problem. Stop spreading this hate. Please, I beg you. You're going to cause us
Let me know when I can answer. Let me know when I can answer, Brad. Can I respond to this person?
Can you answer in the hallway?
So one example that I found truly ridiculous. Again, these were not in the context of a debate. These were in the context of his actual show, because we know that he had several platforms.
Give us specifics.
Can you let her talk?
Sure. So, one of the Tuskegee Airmen, an 80-year-old, 90-year-old black man, was given honors for leading the Tuskegee Airmen and as a pilot. And in response to that, this is when he brought up the fact that when he sees black pilots, he becomes worried and concerned.
You're such a liar. You're such a liar.
Fucking record, bro. You asked me to tell you
He
exactly.
said that about DEI, not about
this was in the context of that man being awarded. That's how the topic.
You know, nobody believes these lies, right? You can't. We're all educated.
Listen,
like we all know what people are.
I'm
sorry, Thomas. I'm sorry
for nothing, bro. My God.
And we all have YouTube, and believe me, people are reviewing the record. Okay, so don't gaslight us.
Gaslight who? You're gaslighting yourself.
But you just, well, sorry, let her finish, and then we can go over it.
Get rid of this shit.
Again, like I get it, because I have a 21-year-old, and when he was young, he would listen to all of this social media nonsense and play video games, and so I heard the way that people talked, and the reason why black young men probably don't feel any kind of way being called nigger or having racist stereotypes applied to them, because this is all y'all did, playing video games with these weirdos online, and so you think it's like normal. Right? You don't recognize.
Just let her land. Just let her land, and we can move on.
She's already crashed this plane. I'm fed up of hearing lie after.
Can you land?
Recognize.
You're a bloodhound for victim.
Hey! Hold on. So, King, stop. Like your quick responses are going on, and you're pancaking points. So obviously there's a lot of animosity based off of what you said. So I'm going to stop you there, and I'm going to allow some of the gentlemen. They don't know people. It's not that people don't have trigger. I just don't need your sermon on the mount to continue on, and then you can have a discussion. That's the problem. Is that you brought in a lot of things that I'm even going to say are incorrect. Again, like, why are you talking? You have this problem in every room. Every moderator has the same problem with you. It is a you problem. It is not a race problem. It is not a female problem. It is a you. Okay. Here we go. Then we're going to have this. Now we're going to settle that way. It is a you problem. Every room you go into, you have a problem when somebody wants to push back or hold a room and have a debate or a discussion back and forth. You will go on long narratives, you will have pancake points, and then you get angry and upset and talk over everybody else who's trying to interject on the points you made or get clarification on anything. Even the people that are on your side can't sit there and help you because you get mad at them and go through. I am just telling you, shut up, let them respond to it, and stop reacting, because you are not the main fucking character today. It is not your day. It is Charlie Kirk's day. We're going to
give it to him. We're going to give it to the high schoolers. We're going to give it to Irina, who was stabbed on a fucking train because we couldn't fucking put away some degenerate who got 14 times arrested for assault and a variety of other shit. We have problems. There was a school shooting yesterday, and that fucking guy was radicalized on fucking line. That guy should be dragged behind horses until his skin falls off his body. But we have a lot. You are not the main character today. So Dewey was next. Miracle, you can respond. Juna, you can go.
Excuse me. Yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of clarity and maybe which is becoming really dangerous in this type of conversation is people only hearing what they want to hear within their own echo chambers without actually going outside of their own walls and environment to really understand what the actual context was. So you think this shit's funny, but when we're talking about this in particular, the Tuskegee Airmen, etc., if I see a black pilot, the context was DEI and corporations making those type of decisions. That's exactly what it was. He said being made to react that way because he felt policies adopted by major companies regarding the ethnic minorities meant less qualified people were being given jobs with significant responsibilities, including airline pilots. And he was trying to share that as an example. This is the reality the left has created. So thank you very much for your attention to this matter.
Funny enough, I was actually going to say almost the exact same thing, but I'll start off by going back to Miracle's point, because I do think it is a very valuable thing, which is I think people are trying, like the debate, the reason why there's so many people saying, oh, he was such a bad guy, is because there's an attempt to, I think, I don't want to say rewrite history, right? People have different narratives, and rather than have the debate about all the different things that were brought up that Charlie Kirk would talk about, if you can paint him as just like a racist, homophobist, whatever it is, to just you essentially can successfully now write him out of the conversation entirely.
Yo, can I say something though?
I'm in the middle. I've been real quiet. I don't interrupt people. I think there's an attempt to write him completely out of history, right? Because if you can ist him in some way, shape, or form, well, obviously he physically can't respond anymore, and historically, right? We don't have in society have a place for that, right? We do write those people out, and so if you just proclaim it, then everything that he was associated with is gone. But to Miracle's point, I think a lot of it is just declarative without actually addressing the ideas. And I don't know if what we just saw was Amon Bailey. I don't know if it technically counts as Amon Bailey, but it felt like it, which was, again, Miracle said, give me an actual thing. And then someone brought up this, said, oh, well, what about the Tuskegee Airline thing? And the Tuskegee Airline, too, I don't know who just said that, it was not the issue at all. He never said anything disparaging about Tuskegee Airline, Tuskegee pilot. It had nothing to do with that. He was bringing up issues of DEI and jobs and pilots. And look, you might even disagree with him on that. That's fine, right? But to bring it up as a topic of conversation doesn't, I don't think, immediately make you an ist, right? This is the problem I have is ultimately Charlie Kirk was a milquetoast conservative. He was the I'm going to debate you bro, right? He was the I'm going to come to a college campus and talk to people. And if you can't tolerate that, then we have a real problem. Because again, that's like the vanilla version of conservative ideas being spread, right? In fact, one great quote from him that I saw, which I wish was getting spread more. I see a lot of people on the left talking about his stance on guns or whatever. But somebody asked him, hey, why do you do this? Why do you come to college campuses to have debates? And his response was, because I'm paraphrasing. Essentially, he said, when people stop listening to each other, bad things happen. He said, in a marriage, if two people stop talking, bad things happen. That leads to divorce. And in a society, when people stop humanizing each other, when they stop looking each other face to face and having difficult conversations, bad things happen. Essentially, what he's saying is debate and conversation is what guarantees, or not guarantees, but what stops violence from happening. And so I think it's really ironic then that the response is, again, violence and by the way, shut up, he should have, he had it coming anyways, right? The whole point is, if you can't have conversation is the step before violence. It's how you mediate things without violence. And that was his brand. And I think it's really weird that brand. I think it's really weird that brand, the idea that the conversationalist celebrating the idea that is the brand that is gone, then you're just sort of acknowledging and admitting, actually, no, we do want the violence. The end.
Okay, you want to respond? You want to respond or you just want to make noise, bro?
No, I'll respond to one. Like,
all right, go ahead.
Bro, you can't live on division and hatred and expect love and peace.
What did he say that was divisive?
Everything you said.
Okay, let's go into a specific one.
Everything you said.
This goes back to Miracle's point. You have you can't just declare it. You gotta give an example.
Doc, there's no education amongst them.
I think you're divisive now, right? I mean, it's like you can't just declare it.
They don't know. Like, they just say stuff for emotion and think it will hold on, or people will be.
I think they believe it. I think they believe it. That's the problem.
Nobody's scared of the word racism anymore. Nobody's scared of it.
That's all you've been doing is saying shit with no motherfucking back.
I just quoted him. I gave you a quote of what he said. I'll give you another one. I'll give you another quote. No, I'll give you another quote that I saw recently. I'll give you one more. An LGBT person went up to the stage and said, "For the record, do you hate LGBT people?" And he said, and there's a video of this, he said, "No, I don't hate any group of people." This was almost verbatim what I'm quoting. He said, "I don't hate people." He said, "I may disagree with your lifestyle choices. I do believe that, marriage is between a man and a woman, and I don't agree with your lifestyle choices, but I do not hate any group of people." That is a quote that he said in public in front of 1,000 people.
In the debate. I'll play it right now. I'll play some shit right now. All right, real shit. All right.
I want to hear him say, "I hate black people."
No, you're gonna hear what.
Half of all prisoners are black. So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders. They commit more arsons. They commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population, and they commit 15% of all the murders. Okay,
so you
let's talk about it. These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person. Black Americans.
Well, no, stop right there. Now someone else is talking, right?
Yeah, you're playing.
Just 38% of the population is black.
He gave you facts and.
Okay. What about that? What about that?
That was a projection.
Hold on. Why was I being mean?
Yeah, well, one, someone else started talking. It was an analysis, and then the question is,
it's literally hold on. Let me tell you what's happening. It's literally somebody with the data and the stats right there debunking line for line everything they said. Is left the data. No, I do know.
Even if you got the data wrong. Wait. Even if you got it wrong. Stop. I'll even grant you that he's wrong on it.
Go ahead. I don't know. The mod is talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, relax. I hear what is being brought up. I'm going to hear it one at a time. I'm going to just say this and y'all can get back at it. Even if he got the data wrong, that does not mean he's a racist. That just means he's ignorant. That's all. But again, y'all carry on.
Exactly what I was going to say. Even if he's wrong on it.
Listen to what racism is. Racism is a personification of ignorance and fear. Okay? And this is what he is. He was ignorant and he was fearfully wrong. And he was not just wrong on a small thing, he was wrong about a big margin. Because if you look it up, which Miracle did not challenge Miracle earlier to produce the facts about Black Americans being in jail and everything else. It's 37
African Americans.
Wait, KK speaking. Everybody quiet.
I'm just saying.
KK, go ahead.
So, I don't want to interrupt the conversation. I just want to make a point out what your definition is racism is in a whole, all, true, all to everything. So what you're consuming, what you're hearing, is not in fact.
Cypher, let me. So the point of what I was saying is literally that I challenged Miracle earlier in his submission. His first submission. I challenged him earlier and said, produce the facts of what you're saying about Black Americans being the majority of the people that are in prison.
Okay, let me ask you a question now. I accept your time.
No, can you answer the question first?
No, you're not gonna tell me how to accept.
But can you answer? No, this were your statements. I'm asking if you even knew it.
Is either you accept my exception or you don't accept my exception?
No, I don't accept anything other than the answer to the question. I just asked.
Right, so you're not ready for a cordial conversation then?
No. I'm ready for a cordial conversation, which would start with you answering the question I asked earlier. So, do you have the facts?
Are you gonna listen to me? Are you gonna listen?
No. Do you have the facts? I will only listen to the facts.
And I'm about to give you the facts. Thank you very much.
So then do it.
African Americans
the African American disproportionately commit more crimes than white people? Yes or no?
No.
Violent crimes than white
No.
people? Yes or no?
No.
What?
No.
Huh?
No.
Huh?
No. No.
The lie.
Now produce the facts.
A lie.
Now produce the
The
facts.
lie.
Now produce the fucking facts.
White people or black
Let me
people.
produce the fucking facts.
Who is more likely to commit more violent crimes?
No. See what's happening here on the stage? I just want to demonstrate for you. This is the reason why I'm about to be a little disrespectful.
You see,
right? So here's the thing. I asked this clown for facts, right? He's asking questions of shit he doesn't even fucking know about.
You're not
37% of black Americans are in jail, Goofy. 57% of them are white.
More white people than black people.
58% of those 38% get exonerated for violent crime, Goofy. You don't even know that shit.
Listen,
Look at the Bureau of Prison stats and what it look like.
You're too emotional.
Young man.
No, I mean, I'm just tired of you trying to overtalk, saying shit pulling out of your ass, and then when challenged, you get into this coward shit.
90%.
Yeah. So look, check this out, guys. Check this out. Miracle, you have no fucking facts. You have no value.
I got facts too. Stop. That's my facts. 90% of Trump. Hold on. I didn't say continue off of him. I didn't say anything. I said stop. We can have a debate. You can have the discussion back and forth. But you can't keep screaming over because A, I have no idea what you're talking about. And some of you are throwing numbers like you got some like kind of cook or whatever that you're eating on this fucking shit. And I'm telling you, some of your numbers are on both sides are a little bit I rape kids. White people rape kids.
Yeah.
More than anybody, you know.
I would just like to see the numbers. I have the numbers.
I
have the numbers.
Stop fucking doing this shit, man. This is the problem. We can't have the discussion because guess what? You're screaming, he's screaming, and then you had some moron going, white people like to rape kids. Like, that's literally what was going on in the stage. That's not the conversation. That's not how to have a conversation. Like, I'm going to be honest with everybody in this fucking room. This is why I hate the fucking race talk. Because it's one side versus the other. You know what? There was a fucking black guy stabbing a fucking Ukrainian refugee. I'm not even Ukrainian refugee.
There we go.
Stop talking. I'll move you down too. I don't equate that man with black men. I don't. I call him a piece of shit. He's a degenerate. I don't look at him any other way other than 50 shades of fucking filth that needs to be buried. And if you have a problem with that, you call me racist because some fucking 100, 200-pound guy picked on a 100-pound fucking girl and stabbed her in a car, and her final moments were crying as she was bleeding out, dead, dying in a fucking subway. I don't care. You can call me racist. The same way I can sit there and say, hey, Trayvon should be fucking alive today. I agree with that. I think Trayvon should be here. I don't agree with Zimmerman on that shit. I can say this for a host of others because I can look at it and have critical thinking and not be worried that I'm looking through the lens of racism. But if you guys want to have the racial one, instead of saying, you know what, there is something fucking wrong with colleges. There is something wrong with our youth today. There is something wrong with people not being able to have a discourse and a discussion because we are actually raising fucking bad people. We have them in our society. Black people, you have them. 20% of your population has degenerate. White people, you have them. 20% of your generation has it. The Asian, you got 20%. I don't give a fuck. I'm just throwing a number out there. Hispanic, you've got 20%. And tacos. So, like, you have this shit. Every group has degenerates in them. Like, stop being so like, oh, we're more pure than this group or this group. And I doubt anybody can measure who is the best fucking father on the planet. You know what? Any man that is with his kids, providing his kids, raising his kids, is father of the fucking year. That's my take of the book. I don't give a shit what color you are, what race, what culture you are. If you are a dad, if that kid goes dad, then you are father of the fucking year. Because there's a shit ton of fathers. What we have a problem in this society is a very few limited number of dads these days. So men, continue with your argument, but at least approach it with some civility, some decorum.
The only difference really is you said everything, and everything you said was right, but the only difference is only one group of people see themselves as victims, and only one group of people refuse to hold themselves accountable. Because at the end of the day, you would not want to say it because they will say you're racist,
but not all, but most black people are very, very quick to violence. It's in their nature. That's why when Africans come to America, they literally tell us not to act like African Americans. Don't do anything to make them
Thomas
think that
didn't
you're.
do that.
It's a
Thomas
fact.
and
My
I
brother,
didn't.
you don't-
Nobody
you
on the
don't wanna
stage
hear
was a
the truth,
victim.
but it's the
Nobody,
fact.
no
You
black
guys
person
have
that
a
spoke on
bad
the stage was
repertoire,
claiming that
and
they were a
you're
victim.
living up to your bad repertoire, and you don't want to hold
Gotcha.
yourself accountable.
And
you
you're
don't wanna
running
hold
from your own country to come here at the country that we
So I'm
built.
going to hold my community accountable. I'm not going to let you spill this hate, and I'm not going to let you poison the
But you're
water
avoiding
to
the
make all the
stats.
black
I just
people
asked you
think
for
that
stats, dude.
racism is still alive and something is
asked you for
limited
stats,
from
dude.
being great.
And you don't understand.
In America, you can be great and you can be successful.
I literally have been asking for stats an hour ago in the chat and on the stage.
Telling people. Stop trying to limit people's progression.
You see what he's doing right now? Okay, so with that out the way, show me the stats.
We are all fed up
Show me
with
the
hearing
stats. Okay, great.
your
I know
non-stop
you feel
monologues.
away about it, guys.
Shut the
I know
fuck
you
up.
feel away about it, and this is why I was yelling earlier, Brad. Because
Here's
we
how
didn't
I
know
feel
what
about it.
I only
Sophie,
asked for
you need to
stats.
shut the fuck up. We're all
No,
fed
I
up
don't
with
need to do
hearing
a
your
goddamn
monologue.
thing. I don't give a goddamn. I love the way that I got you in your fucking emotions right now.
Go to tuna, and apparently this is what we're going to have today. This is how we're going to solve it. You know what? I don't want to hear it anymore. Charlie Kirk gets killed. Next time, who's a big prominent? Dr. Umar. Where's Thomas? Dr. Umar. When he's shot through the neck and bleeding out there, I don't want to see protests. I don't want to see riots. I don't want to hear people. Because again, if we can't come together, if we can't take today at least one lesson from this and say, you know what? Hold on a moment. There's a whole lot of killings. Like, you guys don't even know about what's going on overseas. Do you know Nepal, they burnt the fucking president's wife last night? Did you know that? There's a revolution going on in there. Jakarta, they're doing the same fucking thing. You should probably pay attention. Oh, France is having fucking a meltdown over the prime minister in the elections. You're aware of that, right? You guys know that shit's coming, right? England is on fire. Ireland's on fire. Scotland's on fire. Spain's on fire. Oh, you want to talk about 22 countries in Africa that are basically on verge of killing each other? How about South America? We've got Marines sitting off of Venezuela. Venezuela sitting there going, hey, we're going to launch fucking fishing boats at the United States Navy and have a war kickoff, which is, I feel a particular type of way about that, but, go ahead. You had Israel just shot Qatar, which basically that's going to be nothing. But you still have Iran doing their sable rattling. You have that going on. And now you have prominent speakers sitting there going, man, am I going to be next? Because they shot at Trump. They killed Charlie Kirk. They've shot at other people. Remember, there was a softball game. There was 2 senators up in Minnesota. Those were killed. So if you don't vote or if you don't speak the way I want to, are we just at that type of society? That's something you guys should really think about as you're giving out your stats.
No, but Brad, I honestly want to hold you accountable as well, because Brad, you said something that's very big. You said a young Ukrainian refugee was stabbed in the neck by a black man. And nobody wants to say that black man, while he was recorded saying, I got that white bitch. And no white person is out there protesting. None of this. You guys also need to start standing up and having some courage and fighting for yourselves. Because if it was the other way around, man, we'll be having lootings already in Charlotte. So you guys really need to start having some cojones and stand up for yourself. Because they did it in England here. They did a national British march and all of that. You guys also need to have a bit of bravery as well. Because if they can do it, you can do it as well. Because the man literally said, I got that white bitch.
He said, I got that white girl. He didn't call her.
Yeah, so I just want to go back to the question, Brad.
White girl, white bitch. That should show you that it was racially motivated. It was racially motivated. And that should be protested.
You hear, I asked him 100 times to produce.
He wasn't done speaking. Shut up. He wasn't done speaking.
Yeah, see that? Shut up, bitch.
Shut up.
Don't call her a bitch.
He has no morals.
Watch him out, bro. Hey, that ain't ever gonna fly with me. Nah, man. Yeah, watch him out, You can say a lot of things to a lot of people. Call me that. You could call me a twelve off, you could call me a cum stain for my dad. You could say all sorts of shit. But the one person you can't say it to her, man. I don't give a fuck. You can say you disagree with her. You can get mad. You could say anything else, but you ain't gonna do that. No, you ain't coming up. You ain't doing shit. So let's move on. Next speaker.
I was just in the other room, and I kind of found myself in a interesting, like, I guess, spot on this, because of course it's sad the man died. He's got a family, wife, kids, all of that. So in that instance, you never want to see it. But then there was like this, I don't know if it was a quote of his or just like an interpretation, but something along the lines of, some people are going to end up dying for us to have our like Second Amendment rights. So like, there's a weird level of irony that I think like if you're like staunchly like for the guy or just leave a sad thing, you may take that viewpoint of like, well, he did say it, so like I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. You know what I mean? People may take that as like you're saying you're glad that the man died. You know what I mean? I think that's hard for like people who are very towards either end of the spectrum on this to understand that that is a viewpoint. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, he may have said some bad things about groups of people, including my group of people. But it's always sad when people die. You know, one of those staunch believers that people can always change until they die. No one has that chance. And like, I do think in some of his ideations kind of seem extreme to me. And like, the last thing I personally feel like this country needs is like a martyr for like extreme ideas.
But Kirkle, I was in one of your rooms recently, and you had another speaker, and I'm not going to release that one. But he wasn't the extreme idea guy. Like, he is not the Nick Fuentes, like, that people are trying to make him out.
Exactly. He's the most moderate.
He's not Candace Owens, who is further than he is. Like I in the conservative world, there are certain players, certain individuals who reach out and touch other people, not in that way, but they have conversations. Charlie Kirk, and it's been said, I think Thomas said it and other people, he was milk toast conservative. He was a conservative by Christian nature. He had conservative principles, but if you asked him on economic policies, he got a little wonky on that. He wasn't as well versed on it, and it's all right. Economics is a huge problem. And it's a huge discussion. Most of his was on social conservatism and his religious faith, and that's what he based his arguments on. But what he was able to do was put thousands of chapters across the country, build programs, education programs, help kids understand politics, provide fundraising, help promote for causes for children, fund games, fund the ability to have areas to go to. His program did a lot. Turning Point USA is a lot bigger than people think. And he wasn't even the most radical. Even the people that are the more radicals, the ones that you think are gone away, like the Milo Yiannopoulos, the Ali Alexanders, the Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, all these guys are still out there. And it was the Charlie Kirk that was able to kind of separate them and actually have a discussion on it. And like I heard in your room, person saying, "Oh, Charlie Kirk will not have any effect." He's having a major effect. It's having a major, even poll effect right now. You're seeing it, and it's having a cultural backlash in ways that I don't think people are really anticipating and realizing what could possibly go off and how it could be handled. Because you're seeing it online, and social media is banning it very fast. Go ahead.
I mean, but what could be fanned here?
Excuse me. I'm sorry, Kirk. I'll let you go right after me, but I just want to make this point because I have to go shortly. The most important part about Charlie Kirk and how he's important to people that are not Republican or conservative or moderate or on the left or progressive is he gave them the opportunity to share their viewpoints to an audience that are completely opposite. He gave those students an opportunity to try to expand and try to give their perspective to people that did not agree with them. In turn with that, there are people that were on the right side of the aisle saying, okay, well, maybe that person has a point or not. Now, you tell me which conservative is going to go out there and actually allow that conversation to be had to the capacity that Charlie Kirk did. If anything, it muffled the voices of the left, of the young minds that wanted to ask questions, that felt so strong in their belief that they felt that they could talk to him about it. No one's going to do that now. That's what the left lost, unfortunately. And with that, that means everyone lost. Everyone lost the ability to hear both perspectives and share it together. That is the problem. And the fact that if you think that that only one side lost, you're part of the problem. Everyone lost.
KK, you're 100% right. Somebody said to me earlier today, if a day and a half after assassination, you're trying the victim of the assassination for their murder, there's something pretty yucky about that. Putting him on trial a day and a half after he was killed, there's something particularly slight.
Hey, Marshall, them same people did it.
No,
Did it across the. I mute up.
No, yeah.
They did.
Yeah. You mute up, and because Kirko was next, and I made it very clear.
I'll try to be fast.
If I could finish this one thing. Akiba, just because one side decided to jump off the bridge doesn't mean the other side decided to jump off the bridge. In fixing the problem we're in, each side is going to have to swallow shit, because that's how you get to a place where you can agree. They're going to have to give shit up, and it's going to be policy, and it's going to be points of pride. And if we really want to change things, we really want to live in a better country, then we need to see the gray more than ever right now. Because when we go into our corners, we harden ourselves and go down the path where violence is inevitable. I'll give one example, and then I will throw the mic to Kirko. After Sherman did his burning of the South, if there was large-scale political violence in America, for example, it took 100 years for the South to get back to pre-Civil War industrial parity. Imagine that. Not Bessemer presses, not fantastic ideas, technology from the 1840s and 50s. The political violence that could ensue if we don't calm the country down is one that we don't understand. The deaths would be immense. The destruction would be unfathomable, because we haven't gone through this since the Civil War. The Civil War was the last time America learned what it meant for word divides to lead into violent divides. And we owe it to our country, if we believe this is the place we want to live in, to swallow some of our pride, make those connections, say, well, Charlie Kirk didn't necessarily say all the stuff I liked, but the dude doesn't deserve to be shot down in the street like a dog, in the same way that Minnesota Speaker of the House didn't deserve to be shot by a dog. The only hope we have is clinging to good behavior and good governance. The more each side makes excuses for the other side to misbehave, the worse it'll get, and the only thing that'll come from it will be the eventual dissolution of our country into some form of autocratic or dictatorial reign.
So, I don't really understand the scare for kind of like political conflict or like actual like violence, because like at least in this situation, because the shooter was a conservative. So like, it could be my ignorance.
We don't know that. The AP and Reuters articles I've read haven't said anything about his political affiliation. In fact, the only thing they said
Marshall, his political affiliation appears to be independent or on.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When when I read.
Yeah, at least
maybe I read something different.
Yeah, and also to add to that, guys, I don't know if you guys saw that they're also pulling up his Discord messages. Why people are requesting the release of the full information. He was allegedly part of Antifa Discords and Reddits as well. So we don't really know as much as we would like to yet. There's still more information to be released.
Hey, can I ask a question?
That was the point I was trying to make. It was why.
Okay, I feel it.
Can I ask a question? Can you guys hear me?
I'll finish later.
We're gonna go to Kirko and let Kirko finish.
No, it's okay. Just put me in the queue.
Yeah, you're after Kirko. It'll be fine.
So I guess that's my bad, because I think I was at work when I saw an article that stated that, but then again, it was like the time between when this all occurred and now, like who knows, like what's really what until the end of the day. I do think it's sad, right? Part of me is like not really understanding why. I guess some of you may think like essentially like the ability to have your own beliefs is a challenge here, because I feel like if anything, you would think that like other platforms that have these very strong opinions on topics would then just do what they do more. Because like if you're thinking that it's gonna go away, that's the thing that makes people want to do it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know who Nick Fuentes is. I'm not a very politically inclined person. I just like look at science and shit all day. But like I guess from a humanistic standpoint, I don't really get how you guys are kind of like so in a tizzy. I get it. It's sad that the guy died. Like I wish he didn't. Like I don't agree with things he believed in, but as I stated earlier, I feel like people can change. If you don't get the ability to change before you leave this earth, then you're stuck. Your legacy is stuck with the things that you said or your beliefs. You know what I mean? And my personal fear is that like some of those beliefs were very negative towards other people. Like I think he said something along the lines of like black women aren't smart enough to like be listened to. So I'm not quoting verbatim because I can't remember verbatim. It was something that was just super negative about black women. If other people had those same beliefs, now that he's gone, like that just elevates the sentiment in the minds of people. So it's like the extreme ideas is what I'm scared of being like propagated.
Can I try and chime in just for a moment? And again,
I thought I was going to speak.
All right, fine.
Like you dispersed them like victims.
It's on me now.
Yeah, it was poetic Bravo now.
Yeah.
Somebody's hot micing.
I really only had two quick questions. I don't know the temperature of the room, but I think I do. Yeah, somebody's on hot mic. I think it's Sig. Question real quick. All right, so for like, I'm not black, but I used to be. Right? I used to be black, but I'm not anymore. But for those black people that say, hey, this is a fight between the whites, let's just mind our business. I'm wondering, what do you guys think about that?
I'm sorry.
And then,
what does used to be black mean?
Well, I used to be considered black, but no longer. And then the other question is, okay, so this guy, you know, like what Kirko just said, he said something about like black women's intelligence and stuff. I listened to some of the stuff he said because I wasn't that familiar with him, but some of the stuff I can see how, you know, he's trying to make a point. But I mean, I disagree with his points, but I can see he's trying to make a point. So the only thing I was wondering, I seen a video where he literally just called the Chinese person, or I don't even know if it was Chinese, Asian person, a chink. He just got mad, upset, and called the guy a chink. Now that's racist.
Wait a minute. And, can we just a quick question? Brad's already said this. Brad's already brought this up.
See, I just came in. I don't know. I just came in the room.
I know. That's why I'm just bringing it up. I believe the person that he was referring to, his name was Chink. From when I'm gathering.
No, the guy's name wasn't Chink. I watched the video. he didn't know the guy. He kind of got into it with him in the debate, and then he jumped up and just started screaming, you chink, and like he didn't say like chink like that's his name. He called him. He said, "You chink." He's like, I'm sacrificing doing all of this. Like it was pretty testy. And here's the thing. I don't think anything is wrong with racism. I'm a racist. There's nothing wrong with racism as long as it's not harming anyone.
He was talking to Cenk Uygur, and he was calling his name Cenk. His name is Cenk Uygur.
Yeah, I don't think the guy's name is Cenk Uygur. But
he's the host of the
that's true,
that's his name, Cenk Uygur.
Oh.
He's a very famous
like,
guy.
Yeah, all right, so
they know
that's
each other,
true.
And Cenk was heckling him, and so he stood up and he said, "I know you, Cenk." And so they know each other, and they're political rivals, but his name is Cenk, and he's not even Asian. He's Turkish.
It's spelled C-E-N. It's spelled C-E-N-K.
Right, but in Turkish it's pronounced Cenk.
Oh, all right. See, now
things like easily
Yeah, and I'm glad that was cleared up because I didn't know that the guy's name was Chink, right? Like that's
Cenk. But some people.
That's the same thing. I just said that.
No, Cenk, not chink. Slight, whatever. It's close enough.
Oh,
the point is
different.
It's Cenk with an E, like Cenk, not chink. But the point is people heard him and people heard Chink.
Yeah, and people thought, because when I'm looking at it, like there was like subtitles at the bottom and it said Chink.
Here, so yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can see how that works. All right, but whether or not, like, okay, so if you guys can, if anyone can address the first question about him, wait, what the fuck was my first question? Damn, bro. I just got, we just went down a whole road and I just got off track.
He was racist.
Oh, yeah, no. The first question was about, like, black people in the black community saying, hey, this is a fight between the whites. Leave us out of it. How do you guys feel about that?
You want us to say it's a fight amongst the white people?
No, I'm not saying you say that. I'm saying, like, for the black community that does say that, what do you think?
I will say this to all people of all races and all cultures. This is not about race. This has nothing to do with race. You want to make it about race, I plead with you. You will not like the outcomes of this. You will not like the results. You may think you're all big and bad and tough. You may scream and cry the loudest. But you will not.
You ever seen Montgomery, Alabama videos? Like, that didn't go well for the white.
Yeah.
What the fuck does Montgomery
Hold on, Marshall. Hold on.
Well, he's the one that brought up, hey, you guys want to fight.
Dude, you guys queued up all the time.
You ain't got no wins.
Hey.
No one said.
Jesus Christ. Decorum, man. Like, literally learn. You don't want this. There are more white people. There are more powers. There are more people that'll sit there. You already have a problem in communities with black fatigue. That is a real fucking thing that is sweeping across. And it's not just white people. It's Hispanic and it's Asians. You have a multi-melting pot of people that are already fed up with a lot of the narratives and the BS. If you want to push that trope and make this all about race and own it, then that onus is going to be on you. And the ramifications from that, you're going to scream, we didn't ask for this. There are millions, and I wouldn't want that. This is about ideological differences. This is about the fact that a man was speaking, and regardless of whether or not you agreed with him, whether or not you didn't, he offered you a microphone and an opportunity to debate him. Whether he was wrong, right, or indifferent, whether you liked his viewpoint or not, he didn't say go kill somebody. He didn't preach harm. He didn't ask people to commit violence. He said there was something wrong, and he was diagnosing it, and people felt a certain type of way when he brought up topics because we're supposed to have codes in America, apparently. And guess what? Somebody shot him for that. But if you want that race thing, I'm going to warn you, it's probably not going to go the way you want it to.
All right. Okay, is anyone going to speak to the question? Because he's talking about something I'm not even talking.
I'll say this. I don't think most people care, bro. That's the thing. I don't think people care about black people saying that's white folks' business. I don't think most people care. I don't think they really do, to answer your question.
And honestly, for those in the chat that you said that we ain't scared, you are fucking scared because you know what? Every day on this app, every day on social media, what is the first thing? Pay us our reparations. Pay me this.
oh, the white man's oppressing me, the white man does this. I hear it. Everybody's heard it. For 5 years on this app, I have heard it. Everything about the white man keeps you down. Everything about this. The white man blocks this. I can't get wealth. I can't do this. I've heard it. Every single person that's on this stage has heard it for fucking years. You see it on social media. Like, literally, you think all of a sudden you're all this and a bag of chips. Like, fuck no, you're really not. You're bitching about the laws, the systemic racism, the white superiority. If you are already saying that that exists, you are too weak to actually stand up to anybody else.
1,000%.
Why are they threatening?
That's fucked up because I agree with this guy. I actually agree.
Hold on. To this point, as a black man, I've heard this argument before, which is why I agree with Brad. Don't do it because again, if the white community bands together, they'll turn us into glass in 24 hours, and all we'll hear is screaming and gnashing his teeth. The niggas in the comments, well, we about that. We want, yeah.
Quick question, Thomas. What kind of black are you? Like, are you an immigrant black or which one are?
I'm not going to get that answer. Anyways, with that being said, the reality is, and I'll land here. The reality is that blacks do not own or manufacture their own weapons, tanks, planes, or don't have in the military. Okay?
But they can whip ass, though. That's a fact.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we can scrap in the streets, absolutely. But I'll land there.
Why are they threatening
Yeah, people shouldn't. Again, someone keeps bringing up why are they threatening? Yeah, people who threaten HBCUs are fucked. Fuck them. They suck, right? Like, no one's trying to defend that. The point is that you should not. If people disagree with HBCUs, I don't even disagree with the concept of it. But if there are people who disagree with it, they should have a debate about it. They shouldn't make threats. Right? You see how fucking lame it is?
This is a white on white crime.
I think we were just talking about Charlie Kirk.
We were, and I want to go back to it.
I don't understand why this is turning into a race thing.
It shouldn't be.
Didn't Charlie Kirk speak about race?
You did speak about race, and actually, and then you brought up this, how do black people about, and I was going to try and respond to the last speaker.
I will let let's do the little you. Just to Lilith's point and Paul, because Paul and them are talking over each other. Lilith, the reason that Paul's bringing that up is because there have been bomb threats and other things called into HBCUs. That's why they're saying, because of the situation that happened with Charlie Kirk, they're saying that people are basically kind of losing it and willing to, because again, people, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but I don't like to believe or like to kind of entertain the aspect of people seeing what took place at Charlie Kirk and wanting to go out and do more damage. But what's happening is when people look at social media, and it's not just black people doing this, make that clear. It is not just black people doing this. It's a bunch of, especially white women out there, sitting back and dragging Charlie Kirk on their social media platforms, okay?
Dude,
but they're
I understand what you're saying.
But white women are the worst.
Look at the Black Lives Matter movement. That whole movement was a fucking sham. That whole movement was funded by Soros and giving and paying black people to go and protest and to go and riot and to do stupid shit that made them look really bad when there is a lot of intelligent black people out here in the United States. So
what
the
does
thing
that have
is,
to do with Charlie Kirk's death, though? We're talking about Charlie Kirk, and black people's name is still in your mouths. That's the whole problem here. The problem is when it's a white person killing a white person, it's ideology, right? But then everyone is quick to bring up black on black crime, then it's race. In this issue right now, you had a white person who supports a trans movement that killed Charlie Kirk. Keep black people's name out your mouth. Every 5 seconds, we're hearing about black people. Charlie Kirk wasn't killed by a trans person. Charlie Kirk wasn't killed by a black person. Charlie Kirk wasn't killed by Black Lives Matter. So let's stick to why white people. Let's wait a minute, Lilith. Let's stick to why white people are going to people's houses or going to events, killing politicians on both sides, whether it's a Democrat, whether it's a Republican. There's an issue here. So let's stop bringing up black people and stick to the issue.
I don't think any of the white people brought up. I don't think any of the white people here brought up black people. I think it was the black people that are talking about it and making it a black discussion and a black topic. Black people had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, well, I say to Paul.
Just respond to the last.
Yes, I'll let you respond to the last. The thing is that, but to Paul's point, the reason why people keep bringing up black folks is, again, black folks like to insert themselves in this. And I'm not going to act like they have not. They have. Black people have made rooms. Black people have got on the social media. And black people have made it their business
to sit back and comment on what happened to a white guy that got blown from his children. So if black people want to collectively say, this is not a fight, this is white folks' business, stay the fuck out of their business then. Don't sit back here and get upset when white people start getting upset that black people, you see black folks going and trying to sit back and give the 2 cents about he was racist, he deserved this shit, we're going to dance on his grave by making he burning. That is, again, like I said, it's not just black folks, but black folks inserted themselves into this as well. Let's just be honest.
But hold on, at the same time, like, how can you expect? He made his whole platform on demonizing like black people, so why wouldn't black people?
Don't complain.
Marshall, wait a minute. As somebody who actually met him back when I was in college, when he invited all the student government presidents out to D.C. To meet Congress members and also join Turning Point USA, he did in fact make his platform. I'm saying someone who actually knows the guy, who actually smoked a cigar with him, had drinks with him. Outside of politics, he's a really cool guy. I cannot lie to you. But he did make his platform on hating marginalized groups and supporting gun violence. Well, not supporting gun violence. I'm saying supporting Second Amendment rights.
Okay,
and I'm being generous.
Do you think that his platform was we should hate on minorities? That was his platform, that he would come up and say, you know what's a good idea? We should hate on minorities.
That's semantics at this point, because we all know Charlie Kirk.
No, and this goes back to the first thing that someone else said. Nobody here actually quotes him or anything. They just sort of prescribe to him something.
I can quote several things that he said.
So can I, and nobody ever wants to.
People going off at the same time. I don't know what this is. Like, I hear Dewey. Go ahead. Like, I heard Jay. I heard Marshall somewhere. I heard Thomas. So, like, can we just have, like, a regular conversation? Like, Jay, I don't think this entire platform was built on fucking race. Like, it was all about a cultural conservatism. It's like, that part I'll push back on, and I'll allow others to do that. But I don't think his sole propaganda was just targeting black people. And again, that's a little weird.
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay.
He supported a bunch of other things. One of the things that he did was talk about crime in black people, which I didn't disagree with. But when people say it was mainly built off the back of despising black people, that's just not truthful for what he said at college campuses.
Why don't you guys talk about Candace Owens?
I'm not done. You don't have to like the guy. You don't have to appreciate him. But I'm going to say something. Nobody, regardless of party, regardless of what they say, no matter how incendiary, no matter how inflammatory, no matter how hateful, deserves to be shot down like a dog in the street. If it can happen to him, I'm not done. If it can happen to him, I'm not done, and you can hear me talking. If it can happen to him, and it can happen to those Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota, then it can happen to other people. It's wrong because it's wrong. Trying to equivocate, say somehow his view by the populace in the United States in a court of public opinion makes him therefore guilty. There is something slimy and disgusting about trying a man for his own murder a day and a half after it happened. It's low class, it's slimy, and when white people do it, it's bad, and when people that don't look like white people do it, it's bad. It's just bad in general. And we're not going to get anywhere.
Hey, stop ad-libbing, Amy.
Hey, man, this nigga. You know, Marshall, I would definitely agree with Marshall on that. You know, on either way, on either side is bad. I just wish that our president of what is supposed to be the United States of America will also have the same sentiment as Marshall had. Because when a Minnesota government officials was shot with her husband and both of them were killed, our president did not even attend the funeral. He didn't even send a motherfucking letter. Also, with that being said, when he was asked if he was going to go visit the governor of that state, he said, why the fuck waste time? I mean, he didn't say the fuck, but he was like, why waste time? You know, he's a wacko. You know, so with that being said, at this point in time, we need the president of the United States of America. We don't need a president of the conservative party, right? Because that's what we're getting right now. Even though it's been proven that now apparently they have the killer. The killer is not a Democrat, but we have a president that is spewing decisive and harmful rhetoric solely to a certain demographic of people who happen to be Democrats. So with that being said, I definitely agree with Marshall. I just wish that our president had the same sentiment.
Bro, this is why people can't take you guys seriously. You guys are the biggest fucking hypocrites.
Wait, was that directed to me? Was that directed to me?
I'm talking.
Was that directed to me though?
Well, if you shut the fuck up and listen, you'll figure it out.
Absolutely, I would love to that. I love that.
Fucking faggot. All right, so.
Oh, so now I'm a bad guy. Oh, okay.
You done, ma'am?
I can continue if you want me to.
I think the faggot thing was unnecessary, though.
Right, exactly. Right. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. But they don't really have anything else to say to do insult. That's what they do. That's what they do.
All right. So again, I was talking. You decided to come off your mic and disrespect first.
I did not disrespect you. I just said what this
Shut up. Okay. Well,
Shut up.
Since you can't.
Big
I'll just drop it down. So that's why you got called a name. You show the disrespect first. And just like, I mean, this is your guys' mentality. You guys start shit first, and then you guys cry like bitches when people respond back based on your bullshit. This is an exact. Jay, mute up. Mute up. This is it. Mute up. Thank you. So again, where is your proof that President Trump said hell nah, or whatever you said, that he wasn't going to show up, that he actually did it? Because we just had a gentleman up here say that he was Charlie Kirk calling someone a chink, didn't realize the man's name was Chink. So this is just proof and a prime example of how you guys get things misconstrued, and you guys spin these narratives, and they end up becoming dangerous because you guys talk.
So Donald Trump was asked by a reporter if he was going to speak, and I will find a link and I will put it in the chat in regards to the actual video footage of him saying that he was not going to speak with the governor of that state. He said literally, quote unquote, why waste time?
It's in the chat.
Put it in the chat. All right, thank you.
That's what he said. Thank you, whoever put the link in the chat. Thank you so much, because usually we have people like him that love to run their motherfucking mouth without doing their research first.
Jesus Christ, hold on. So first off, Donald Trump had cited, he went on TV. This is part of like what I hate too. And Coco, you should know better than this. You do know better than this. His first statement was that political violence and violence of any kind attributed in this way to any people will not be tolerated in the United States of America. People should not be living this way. However, you are correct when he was asked if he would reach out to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Trump dismissed the idea and said, Walz is kind of whacked out, and anything I do or say, in his words are, it would be a waste of time for me to really speak with him. It received backlash. But the issue isn't the fact that he had to call Walz. Walz had nothing to do with the senators. And in fact, it wasn't a Republican that went through and did all that shit. Especially if you start looking at the evidence in the car and all that stuff, you're kind of like, this is a deranged appointee that was promoted up, which, again, like, everybody wants mental health checks on guns, but they didn't want mental health in our fucking politics. But this guy managed to get in there, had no King's protest papers all over his shit, hated Donald Trump and all this stuff, and killed these two individuals for what? Voting against the way he didn't like. So this was angered across the spaces. The problem is that a lot of people on the left at the time of this came out and said it's the Republicans' fault. Now, I remember having these discussions and saying it's because of you Republican tards and all this, you Trump, you maggots, and all of this stuff. It was not that. I don't hold any of that shit. I think it's despicable that those two couldn't vote in representative of their delegates and how they felt was the best way to represent their delegation, and they got killed for it by some fucking piece of shit. I also think Charlie Kirk getting shot by this piece of shit is still, that guy's a piece of shit. These things can both be true. Should Trump have called Walz? Maybe, I don't know. Walz said a lot of fucking heinous shit about Trump, and Trump
for all facts and figures, he's kind of petty about that shit. He holds a grudge a little bit. So him not calling Waltz over this particular issue, yeah, I can see him not doing it. I can see him dismissing it, especially after Waltz, just up until the week before, was at a campaign rally saying that Donald Trump was a dictator-in-chief, a fascist, and was bringing an end to democracy and calling him all sorts of evil things. So, yes, Governor Waltz, these two just don't like each other, and Donald Trump did comment on that shooting.
Yo,
and next...
We're not gone. Yeah, I just wanted to say real quick. Again, this is a lie. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Be quiet for a second. So this is a link I just read. See, this is yo. Shut up, bitch.
Crack-a-lacka.
Fucking whore, crackhead whore. Get the fuck out of here. Bye. Get your bitch. Go make a fucking sandwich. Come on. All right. So back to the conversation. So I just read the link based on the accusation. Listen to how this man tried to paint President Trump, how divisive he was to tell this lie about President Trump not getting in contact with Tim Walz. If you actually read this fucking article, Trump actually made a fucking statement. And he said here, it even says it in the fucking article, that President Trump said clearly on that situation, violence will not be tolerated. His only issue is he didn't want to contact Walz. You made it seem like just because they were Democrats and they were gunned down in their home and violently fucking murdered over politics, that he had no fucking sympathy or empathy for this family, and did pretty much try to make it out and infer that Trump shitted on this family by disrespecting this family. Absolutely did not, and this is an article that was shared in the fucking link. So again, these are the lies you guys fucking tell, and these are the lies that you guys fucking make up, and this is what's causing the dangerous division in the fucking.
So I'll find the actual link that actually has the video, not words or an article. I'm going to find the actual
you
link.
Just backed up the article.
Of
you
them
just
saying
backed up the
everything
article.
that he
Now
just
you
said.
now you want to back
Hello. You just told me to not talk. Are you? Oh my. Okay. So my point was when it came to the funeral. That was my point. I hate the fact that now we're focusing on the Waltz situation because I did bring that up. But my point in bringing anything up was the funeral that Trump did not attend. Trump did not attend the funeral of the Minnesota governor official and her husband that was shot and killed by a MAGA supporter because it was found out that the supporter did vote for Trump. It was found out that he did. So when I make that statement and everything that Trump is talking about now in regards of Charlie Kirk and him being oh my goodness, he was a saint, and oh my goodness, he touched the hand of God, and all of that we need to order. I'm ordering all the flags to be flown, have a mass because this innocent God-given person was shot. None of that was done when an actual government official was shot and killed. None of that was done.
What about when George Floyd was, when that fucking monkey George Floyd was
I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I'm going to land here.
Please be done.
I'm raising up my voice. My point is when an actual government official that was on the opposing side was shot and killed by a person who voted for Trump, he didn't even go to the funeral. He didn't send no roses. He didn't send a letter. He didn't really do anything. He probably didn't even live. Why are you talking? I'm trying to hurry up the land, but you people keep interrupting me. Why are you talking? 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 Hello? And I'm trying to hurry up the land, but your bitch ass keep talking.
Stop being.
Let me hurry up and land, and then you can say whatever you want to say. I was literally almost done until you got off mute.
Go. This is the fucking problem. You turn obnoxious.
I'm not listening. You do like, why can't he finish though?
Calm down.
Hey, Lilith, hold on.
He's been talking forever.
Joe, stop. Like, just let him finish, and then I'll let whoever goes afterwards.
The problem is he doesn't finish, Brad. Like, he just keeps talking.
We couldn't finish if y'all shut up.
Hey, stop. Jay, I don't need your help. I got this. I know how to mount a room. I've been doing it for a while. I'm an old man. I got this shit. I'll let Coco go. I know Coco. He goes on a little bit. He's wrong. He has points that his own opinions. He's allowed to do that. That's what political compass is. And it was between Sig and him, and Sig will check him if he wants to. Sig will back his points up. Sig's a big fucking guy. I mean, he's shorter than me, and he's only a Marine, so I mean, he's half a man to compare to a sailor. But still, he can fucking hold his own. I'm pretty sure Coco and him can sort it out. Doesn't need a cheerleading section. Let the two grown men fucking duke it out. I'm okay with it. I'm gonna bring Coco up. Let him land his fucking point. Sig, go ahead and do your thing with him. Yeah. And then we'll move on to whoever else afterwards. It's okay.
Yeah, everybody shut up. Let the man fucking say his piece. Coco, you up on stage?
Can you invite him up because I'm out of invites or something like that?
Yeah, let me find him. Okay, there he is.
And Coco, sorry to move you down. I don't know how to mute all. KK usually handles that for me, and she wasn't in the room, so I just moved down the loudest people right away. And usually I try to gain control of the room that way, so I apologize. But please, land your plane, and then Sig's going to rebut them.
I'm going to rebut, and then we can move on. Let other people talk. Go ahead, Coco. You got.
Okay, the only reason I brought up my point was because something that Marshall said. I agree with Marshall's sentiment in regards of it should not be happening on either side. And so I was like, well, I wish our president did that. I wish our president would do the same thing that he's doing now, but he didn't do the same thing when an actual government official was shot and her husband was shot and killed. He didn't go to the funeral. He didn't send a letter. He didn't do anything. And so that's the only reason why I even stated what I stated was because I was agreeing with Marshall and hoping that, hey, I wish our president would do the same thing. That to just simply say on, everything that he's saying now in regards of Charlie Kirk, where the flags need to be flown half-mast and all of those things. And that was not done for the Minnesota state of government officials that were shot and killed. I land there. Thank you.
All right, so just to really quick respond, and let's move the fuck on so other people can talk. Again, you're changing your sentiment now. The sentiment that you originally started off with was to paint Donald Trump, President Trump, as this heartless monster that when Republicans get killed or people on his team get killed, it's a big deal. But when people on the opposing team get killed and violently murdered, and again, I condemn all violence, all political violence on anybody, any fucking body. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, your center, your left, right, I don't care. Violence, there's absolutely no tolerance for fucking violence, political violence. But the way that you painted your original narrative, and I see that you're backtracking now, Coco, is that you tried to paint President Trump into this picture, and then when an article link was dropped, you backed that link up, and I'm looking at that exact fucking link. It says President Trump made a statement on that issue. So he released an official statement on that issue, quote, saying, horrific violence will not be tolerated. Now, whether that man wants to go to someone's funeral or not, that's his fucking choice. Whether he wants to call Tim Walsh or not, that's his fucking choice. But he did release an official statement and condemn the violence on those senators.
So, wait, did you say he did condemn it?
The article, I'll read it to you, quote. This article, the Yahoo News article that was linked up, it says, quote, right here, the president released a statement on Saturday that said, horrific violence will not be tolerated, end quote. But he has kept taking jabs at Waltz. So he has a problem with Waltz. Would you expect him to call Waltz if he's got a problem? And Waltz has nothing to do with that. He can still release a statement. He can still get in touch with the family. He can still pay his condolences without getting Governor Waltz involved.
Right, and I think you missed what I'm saying here, but okay, we could really just move on. I'm just going to find the link that I was talking about, and I'm going to put it in the chat. Thank you so much.
Is it an open floor now? Can I go?
Yes. Why Trump might have not have been present or as available during the period of time when that happened in Minnesota. It was the Army's 250th anniversary, and also including his 79th birthday. It was quite a big event, and it was well planned in advance. So if people are wondering why Trump wasn't necessarily available or present during that period of time, there was a lot going on. If you don't believe me, go do your own research, chat GPT it all you want. Go, why wasn't Trump available to necessarily be as available as he could be in other situations? There's some pretty damning information of why. And I'm sorry, but the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army is a pretty important event, including his birthday. It's his birthday, but the first thing listed is actually the anniversary of the 250th U.S. Army's birthday. So I'm just going to put that in there. with Minnesota.
I put the link in the chat of the actual video that I'm talking about.
But this is what, here's the thing though, Coco, even before that, and this is why it's hard when you're wanting to have a mutual debate with someone, you want to have disagreement with someone, and you come off, as dishonest, right? When you first said that this was a Republican who did the shooting to Charlie Kirk, and then you kind of pivoted to this other topic, that's not true either. We have literally videos of him.
Wait, did he go out?
Yeah, I think he went out.
No. I booted him from the room. That was Keegan.
They shot him.
You're not gonna come up. You're not gonna lie on me. You're not gonna lie on me that you can come into our spaces and then continue on like nothing ever fucking happened. So I'm gonna go back and start painting my nails again. But yeah, I removed him.
Therefore, there must be some desirable first. There's you, woman. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat of the video that I'm referring to for better context of what I'm talking about. And to be quite honest with you, I had brought the same topic up in another room, to where former President Biden went to the funeral. Of course, he kneeled down at the coffin or whatever have you. Now, I would think that the current president of the United States of America would be at a governor. This isn't like an influencer. This isn't like a podcaster. This isn't just a regular person. This is an actual government official, a senator that was shot and killed by someone who by a MAGA. So he was a MAGA supporter. He didn't vote for Trump. I'm not trying to put any light on a Republican as any bad light, but the person who shot them motherfuckers was a MAGA supporter. That's what he was. I'm not trying to shine a bad light on MAGA, but I'm just stating the fact that he was a MAGA supporter and he shot and killed their ass. So with that being said, that's why I brought up, I was like, well, the things that Donald Trump is doing for an influencer today, who he favors, was not the same thing that basically, he should have done the same thing for actual government officials during gun day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coco. Let me say this. First of all, just because you had, my bad. I let you jump in, my bad. I'm not going to say what you want to say for a purpose. Just because someone voted for somebody at a certain point does not mean they always will agree with that ideology. I used to be a Democrat. I voted for Barack Obama the first time at least. Okay? I changed my sentiment. Alright? So, again, just because I wasn't saying it to highlight my issue word. But I just go ahead, bro.
So I don't know how many political debates you've been in or you've just been in Democratic ones for the past.
By extremists on the right. So I don't want to hear somebody say, you see, this is